Show. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great weekend. We got some issues to discuss today. I'm inviting all the people who are anti-Rob Thompson to call in today, because I'm not anti-Rob Thompson. I think what he did, or what he did not do, which is to pinch hit in the ninth inning when they were down 2 runs with a runner on first base, instead of Cal Stevenson to bring up Bryce Harper, I totally agree with it. Now, that's going to get people, that's going to get under their skin a little bit, but I'm going to tell you why I agree with it. First of all, let me introduce my cohorts today. There's Bill Colarulo here rocking a Phillies hat, and Ray Dunn, our producer, in the booth. We will announce today, by the way, how Ray will be involved in General Knowledge Wednesday. All right, I've decided over the weekend to put it forward. All right, but in any event, here's the situation. First of all, I don't know why it surprises anybody that Rob Thompson would not pinch hit in that situation. He has shown you his colors. Like, his colors are his colors. He's not going to change his colors. And here's why. Because he believes that a steady hand is better than a reactionary manager. And in this situation, when he tells you that he's giving guys the day off, he means the whole day off. Now, people are saying, what are you talking about, Mike? Well, do you send a guy up to pinch hit, and that's going to wear him out? No, it's not going to wear him out. But maybe he gets on base, and he has to run or whatever. He said after the game that he wanted to give both Real Muto and Harper 2 days off their feet because today is an off day. Now, what is the beef with this? What is the problem with this? And here's the other thing. I know that Cal Stevenson is very low on the totem pole. But Rob Thompson feels that every guy in his clubhouse has a chance to help him. And if he pinch hits for Cal Stevenson there, who's a left-handed hitter, who supposedly has a little bit of pop, you're going to trade one left-handed hitter for another, what does that do to Cal Peterson? It shows him up. He doesn't like to do that kind of stuff. Why are people always, like, the hatred on social media for that lack of a move was startling to me, because you already know what the guy's not going to do. Bill, your thoughts?
I hated it, Mike. I couldn't be more opposite of you right now. I absolutely hated it. And the reason I hated it is, yes, you are 7 games up on the Atlanta Braves. You're going to win the NL East. You are only a half game up on the LA Dodgers. You are only 1 game up on the Milwaukee Brewers. You're talking about a 1-game difference from having to play in the wild card round and potentially your playoffs being over after 2 damn games. No guarantee Harper or Realmuto comes up and gets a hit, but you don't just wave the white flag and concede the game.
First of all, why would you hit Realmuto?
For stubs.
That didn't matter, that at bat. Well, they got there was nobody on base. What's the point of that at that point?
If you pinch hit Harper, maybe he doesn't go yard, but if he gets on base, now you pinch hit Realmuto for stubs.
Well, yeah, but you're adding something. There's no reason to pinch hit Realmuto at that point. It's 2 outs and there's nobody on.
They didn't even give themselves a chance, Mike. Here's what's crazy, though. Listen to this. So right before the show, our producer Ray prints out an article for me from MLB.com where John Middleton.
I got it right here.
Phillies owner.
Every game matters to me. Every single one, every at-bat matters to me. There's a mentality in baseball that's different from other sports. It's a long season. You can't get upset about what happened on a Tuesday night in July. Yeah, well, sometimes Tuesday nights in July determine season outcomes, playoff outcomes. Every game matters to me a lot. And I react that way. But it's also a reason why I'm very careful about not being around the players and the coaches too much. That's Dave's job. And it's the manager's job.
And he made the wrong decision. He made the wrong decision, Mike. You can't tell me. I'm with you on, the steady hand, and you want to give the guys the day off. 1 at bat? Come on.
He is not. You have to understand that Rob Thompson has been around the game a really long time. And the one thing he understands is that you can't show up a player. No matter who the player is, you got to ride with that player.
He's not even going to be here.
But over the long haul, that's a better way of looking at it than being a reactionary guy.
I can't stand it, Mike. And this is the second time he's done it. If you go back, I think a week and a half ago, he didn't pinch hit Realmuto for Stubbs then when you had the tying run at the plate. There's no guarantee that Harper comes up and gets a hit, but you give yourself the best chance to win the game.
We have to at least get you on this side. He's never going to pinch hit a right-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher. Never is he ever going to do that. So forget about the Realmuto for Stubbs thing, unless they bring a left-hander in. That's not going to happen. You know that.
Ray, refresh my memory. The example I'm talking about from like a week and a half ago when they let Stubbs hit.
Because it was a right-handed pitcher.
Was it a righty on the mound?
Of course it was. He wasn't going to let Stubbs hit if it was a left-hander.
No, it was another one of those. JT's off today.
Yeah, but still, what shapes his decisions or whether it's lefty-righty. He has shown you so much of his hand. He'd be a terrible poker player. He shows you exactly what he's going to do as a manager because he believes over the long haul that works. He respects players. He doesn't change the lineup because he knows that upsets players. He's not going to pinch hit in a situation and show up a left-handed hitter for a guy who obviously is Bryce Harper. He's just not going to do it.
Stevenson's not even going to be on this roster in a week.
Let me ask you this, and this is a question for everybody. Do you actually think that Rob Thompson is a bad manager for this team?
I don't. But I do disagree with this decision. I like Rob Thompson.
But see, you're like, this is like a Chinese menu for you. You're going column A and column B. Like you shape the argument for what you want. You like the way Rob Thompson manages. However, he should have pinch hit in this particular situation. Well, Rob Thompson manages a certain way where he's not going to pinch hit for that guy. See, you want it both ways.
You want it both ways.
I don't want it both ways.
You and I had this conversation last week. You were upset he didn't pinch hit for Johan Rojas in the playoffs
because he's Johan Rojas.
And he's Stevenson, for God's sakes. The guy's not even going to be on the team.
But this is a playoff situation. That's different. You got to have all your guys carry you to the finish line. In the playoffs, obviously. Do you think Cal well, first of all, he's not going to play in the playoffs, but you think he wouldn't have pitch hit for Harper?
In the playoffs?
Harper in the playoffs? First of all, Harper wouldn't have been in the game. There wouldn't have been a situation. A baseball season is getting to the end, and that's what he knows.
So you're okay with them basically saying, we're going to lose this game. That's fine.
I'm not okay with them losing the game. I'm okay with him saying, hey, Cal, here's your chance. Just like a lot of guys that he has trusted to come through for him, including the Weston Wilsons of the world and guys like Dahl who came up. He needs those guys to get you to the finish line, dude.
And if you're telling me one at-bat in the ninth inning is going to change everything.
Well, you're saying it's going to change everything.
I'm saying you give yourself a chance to win.
They lost 1 of 4. For Rob Thompson, it's more beneficial to have Cal Stevenson hit that situation and give Bryce Harper the total day off than it is for Bryce Harper to come up. And he's saying to you that over the long haul, my method, I have to trust my method. And I can't get out of character because these guys will see me in a different light. And it's the worst thing you want to have as a manager.
Let me ask you this. We're talking about it from the player's perspective. You think Harper wanted to get up to the plate in that situation?
No.
You think he said, I'm okay sitting on the bench?
Yes. I think that when Harper has a day off, he enjoys the day off. He trusts Rob Thompson to the point where I'm off today. So his mindset is I'm off. His mindset is not I may have to pinch hit late in the game. Same with the Realmuto. They're giving him a mental and physical break. And I think at this point of his career, and he and Realmuto appreciates the same thing. 2 days off your feet is what he said after the game that he wanted to give those guys. Now, over the long haul, you can't see it now, but over the long haul, that to me is going to work better than him having to rush a guy into a pinch hitting role. The regular season game, Bill, you need to get to the finish line.
We've talked about risk reward when we consider what Sirianni's doing with the preseason, right? It's not worth playing your starters because the risk isn't worth the reward that you would get. In this situation, to have a guy come up and just simply have an at-bat, to me, there's not enough risk, but there is enough reward. If you win this game, you're in a battle, Mike, in the National League. I don't care about the Braves. I care about the Dodgers and the Brewers right now. You're in a battle. You're a game up, a game away from having to play in the wild card round. Every game matters.
And he's saying to you that my method works better to the point where we're going to be that 1 or 2 seed because it's my method that I trust. You want to pick and choose.
I do like Rob Thompson, and I do love his patience and the way he's been with this team over the last couple of seasons. You got to love
what he did yesterday.
I don't know.
If you trust him, you must trust him all the way. You can't trust him on bill terms.
Nah, I can't.
Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. I think the guy's a good manager for this particular set of players. I may not think it for another particular set, but I think for this one, it's good. Back after this with your phone calls. I want to hear what you say. I want all you Rob Thompson haters out of the woodwork today. I want to hear from you. Back after this. Yes, he tipped his hand. I'm thinking long-term as well on two fronts. Number one, he means it when he says he wants to get those guys off their feet because he believes that will help them later on and therefore help the team. And the other thing is he needs these guys that he puts in there right now not to have their confidence shaken. So if he pinch hits for that Cal guy, even though he's not going to be in the plans for the playoffs, he understands that guy may now say, oh, man, he doesn't believe in me. And then he loses them.
Think about who he would be pinch hitting with, though. You think Cal Stevenson's going to look at Bryce Harper and say, man, I'm not as good as Bryce Harper? He knows.
The second part is not as important as the first part, which is he told them, you're off. Rest up mentally and physically. Now, if he changes it up, those guys know exactly that he does that, okay? That's why they believe in him on a level playing field. He's going to do this, and I'm not counting on playing today. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to let me rush to the cage. It messes you up.
In the seventh inning, they're down in the seventh, right, Ray? Refresh my memory here.
They're locked up.
It was locked up in the seventh. When did they give up the lead?
Strom
in the eighth?
gives it up in the eighth, and then Hoffman gives up a run in the ninth.
So in the eighth, Rob Thompson should go to Bryce and JT and said, hey, boys, may need you here down the stretch. May need you in the ninth if we're still down a run or two. To me, you talk about he's looking long-term. That's what I'm looking.
But you're missing the point that he's already established that when he tells a guy that he has a day off, he's got a day off. This way they don't have to worry about anything. And that's what he's counting on helps them down the road. Mike. All right, we got a lot of reaction to this, right? And I'm not playing good cop, bad cop here. This is the way I'm one of these guys that go, okay, he's this type of manager. This is what. So I don't get upset, except in Game 7 of an NLCS when he doesn't pitch hit for a guy. Then your season's on the damn line. And that's what you don't have Rojas hitting that situation. That's different than this situation. You're trying to get to the finish line. Right, what are the texts saying?
All right, I will check it in. I'm on Bill's side with this one. The thoughts of who cares, it's just a random game, is whatever, is over. We need every win that we can get simply because we should be the one seed that this roster depicts. The overarching point is to try and get some of those wins back that you've just dribbled away over the last 7+ weeks.
It's a good text right there. Very good text.
Pete?
All right, he agrees with Bill. Of course, it's a good text.
Yeah, Pete in Allentown also agreeing with Bill. Mikey Miss, you are wrong. They should not have sat 2 of their players after winning 3 in a row. For goodness sakes, they lost 7 series in a row. If you're going well, keep playing your players. This drives me nuts. The guy makes $300 million. Has he had enough days off with his injuries? I've never liked Rob. He is a horrible strategic manager. I fear when it comes to the playoffs, the same things are going to happen.
Here's what I would tell that guy. Do you know what it's like to manage an entire team from day 1 to game 162? No, you don't. And don't pretend that you do. Rob Thompson does. He understands that it is a marathon of baseball season. And sometimes you have to do things that may look weird to fans, but for the overall greater good, helps the team win. And under him, they win more than not, do they not?
And I understand what you're saying. And I do think over 162 games, you can go and you could pick apart decisions a manager makes. And I think sometimes we do that too much. Oh, he should have put this guy in. He shouldn't have let that pitcher pitch another inning. All those things can be debatable. This one, though, this is just a no-brainer. You're down 2. You have Cal Stevenson coming up to the plate as the tying run at the plate. You got Bryce Harper, your MVP, sitting on the bench, Mike.
Okay. All right. See, you're not going to the second level in your thinking. It's called second level thinking, which is something I've preached for many years doing Sports Talk Radio. Second level thinking is sometimes you got to take a hit for the greater good. Now, Ray, you haven't came in on this, so what do you weigh in on this for me?
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the decision making. Yesterday, the game ended, and I was on the air here, and within 5 seconds of the game ending, 2 texts asking to fire Rob Thompson because people were so mad about what happened. A couple weeks ago, I believe it was a game they lost 4-3 to the Guardians on Sunday. It was, I think, the first Colby Allard start. Similar situation, Stubbs came up, no pinch hitting of Realmuto. And it's like, all right, frustrated because in that moment you're thinking, let's get the game here. But knowing what we've been through with JT, especially this game that they played yesterday, he had played 5 days in a row. He hadn't done that since he came back from injury yet. If they end up tying that game, Realmuto is catching on a day that was designated for him to be off after playing the most games in a row since he came back from injury.
But go to the batter before that.
I am. I'm going to go to the batter before that. Harper gets on base. Okay, then you let Stubbs bat? Well, now you're sending a mixed message here. Do you want the best batters to come up and take that game for what it is? Or is it just, let's have Harper? Because if Stubbs bats after Harper bats, we're having the same conversation today because everyone's freaking out that you didn't pinch hit Realmuto there. And when we talk about them losing that game, they're tied going into the 8th inning. Harper and Realmuto are given no indication they're playing. It would have been until the 8th inning. If Strahm and Hoffman do their jobs, we're in a different situation right now. So the vitriol today that everyone has for the manager, I'm not asking you to be livid and start asking questions about this bullpen, but wouldn't we want to look at the guys that put you behind the 8 ball to get us in that situation?
The 8 ball again. The 8 ball came out.
The 8 ball.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you. All I can tell you is this is what the guy is. And I think more people need to appreciate the fact that the steady hand that he shows, he's a stoic guy who does not want to get in the way of his players. Now, why is he like that? He is like that because of years of experience being around veteran teams, knowing what disturbs players and what doesn't disturb players. And you're not giving him enough credit for that.
I do like Rob Thompson.
Well, then you got to like all of Rob Thompson.
Not every decision he makes. You could like a guy and not agree with every decision he makes. And I think yesterday's decision to basically say, we are not going to give ourselves the best chance to tie this game up because them resting for one at-bat is more important than us trying to win this damn game. To me, I have a problem with that when you are in not an NL East race, a National League race where every game should matter down the stretch. And I think letting your star come up to the plate for one damn at-bat isn't going to change whether or not Bryce Harper's healthy in October.
Yeah, mate, because he might have to run the bases and single. That's why he wanted to get him off his feet.
If they tie the game there, Bill, and they go to extras, how are you rearranging with Harper and Realmuto in the game?
To play.
Realmuto's going to have to come in.
Yeah, he's going to have to catch.
Harper's going to have to play first. You can move Bohm to third.
Okay.
And then if they really need 2 days off,
wait.
give them off game 1 against Atlanta. I don't care. Try to win the damn game. And if you win that game, you're already playing with house money.
Let me just...
Wait, who goes out to you putting Rojas then at center? You cycling all around there? Because then Sosa's coming out of the game.
Sosa's going to have to come out of the game.
Right. Sosa comes out of the game. Move Bohm over to third. Rojas comes into the game. Harper's now at the bottom of your lineup, and you're forcing Realmuto to catch on a day where he wasn't supposed to catch. That's 6 days in a row. The most he's played since he came back from injury.
So what, Bill? You're telling
he's
me
off today,
that you would pinch hit Harper there, and if Harper got on base, you would then pinch hit Realmuto for Stubbs against a right-hander. That's what you're saying that he should have done.
Yes.
When he has never done it, ever. Will he bring a right-handed batter up to hit against a right-handed pitcher? He's not going to do it. What are you expecting him to do? He's not going to break his character that he believes in, just like a great blackjack player believes in his philosophy at the blackjack table. The percentages that Rob Thompson calculates in his head are for the long haul.
I'm a pretty good blackjack player, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, then you know that you can't be a good blackjack player unless you know the basic strategies and maybe even more than that.
But you
reduce the house's odds. That's what Rob Thompson does. He reduces the house's odds against his team for the long haul. And you're surprised when he doesn't do something. That's what gets me. All these people are shocked. And they can't wait to hate on a manager because one game goes by where they lost the game and there's a situation that's totally against the grain on what they would have done as measuring their knowledge against a guy who has a feel for baseball for years.
There was a righty on the mound, right?
Yeah, Finnegan.
Garrett Stubbs is batting 176 against right-handers. JT's batting 240. If you want to play the odds, I'm going with the guy that's batting 240.
Well, guess what? Those odds don't matter. Lefty-righty matters to Rob Thompson for the long haul.
That's not this decision, though. This decision was based off of resting Harper and Realmuto. That's what it's all about.
Again, All right. Well, Real Muto had no place in that game yesterday anyway. The way it turned out, nobody on base. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. I want to hear from people on this. We're going to go to our YouTube board, too. A lot of comments on that. Back after this. Missanelli Show. What happened to that storm that was supposed to hit yesterday? I didn't get any storm. No thunderstorm. Flood watch. I was getting these alerts.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and it's a little humid out there today.
Mike, we may have to take the show on the road for Sixers training camp. Do you see where Sixers training camp is this year?
Where is it? Colorado?
Atlantis in the Bahamas.
Is it really?
October 1st through October 5th.
Oh,
the Sixers
my.
will be in Atlantis paradise.
I'm good with that. We have to start lobbying.
Make that happen,
You're good,
Ray.
You're good at lobbying. So's Ray.
I'll start lobbying right now. I'm coming with. I'll be there with you guys.
We need someone back at the
Atlantis.
station.
Bahamas? That's ridiculous. Rob Thompson's record as a manager of the Philadelphia Phillies in 3 years, and of course he took over 22 in the middle. 228, 169. Is that any good?
He's a very good manager. I'm a fan of Rob Thompson.
Maybe it's so good. You know?
You could be a fan of a manager and disagree when they make bad decisions.
Why is it like that? Because he's steady. He does things steadily. This is what you're missing here. All right? He's a steady manager who has great respect for players. Okay, now you can disagree with that and be a hard ass because you come from a football world. Yeah, these players are spoiled. Sometimes you got to let it fire in the rear ends.
Is that what I sound like, Ray? Do I sound like that?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I swear to God, I'm reading text last night, and it's this manager drives me crazy. He drives you crazy. He's 228, 169. How can he drive you crazy? He's made more right decisions than not. Now, let's go back to the one decision that he made, which was terrible. In Game 7 of an NLCS, when a guy looks like he can't hit in Little League World Series, which is Johan Rojas, he doesn't pitch hit for it with the bases loaded. That's a bad move because you have the series at stake at that point. And you need a pinch hit in that situation desperately. And he said, "Whoa, I take Rojas out. I got nobody in defense." You had Pache on the bench. He's not a stiff in center field. That's a no-brain move that he could be criticized for. But I'm pinching Bryce Harper is very tiny on the overall scope of things. What are they saying on YouTube, Bill?
Most people agree with me on YouTube. So Neil Dever says, I tend to agree with Mike Missanelli 90% of the time. I disagree big time on this. I would think even Cal Stevenson would understand if he's being pinch hit for Bryce frickin' Harper. It would be one thing if it was for Stubbs. A lot of people are saying that this was an important game. It's not really a question. This is from MBD. It's not really a question if you're pro or anti-Thompson. It's he does things well and some things he doesn't do well.
What are those things? What are the things? This is what I want to hear from the callers. What are the things that he doesn't do well? You tell me, and then I'll point to the record and how they've been more successful than not.
Well, listen to this one. Thompson was essentially born on third base with the roster he's been handed.
It doesn't matter. Well, he's born on third base. What does that have to do with anything?
They're questioning him as a manager.
Okay, he's born on third base. He inherited a veteran type of team, so he manages it that way.
Now, some people are arguing on YouTube.
Who is it that said that?
That was
He's born on third base.
Neil Dever.
You're an idiot.
Neil,
Boy, he was born on third base.
You may
what the hell
call.
does that have to do with anything?
The year that he takes over, there's 7 games under 500 when he takes over. It took to the last game of the season to get that team into the postseason. How could he be born on third base?
He knows what type of team he has. It's just like the Yankees.
8
he
games
has that
under.
Yankees influence where they were a good veteran team. That's what he knows. It's the same thing.
They were 21-29, but then Girardi won his final game.
Girardi did win his final game. Had a day off, came in the next day, and then was gone.
Now, what do you think of this, Mike? So, one of our YouTube chat is saying you shouldn't rest Realmuto and Harper in the same game. What do you think about that one?
Again, dude, does this guy know his team better than you do? You're looking at it. You're a TV. You're looking at it on TV, all right? You got to have respect for a guy who has produced better results than not. And so when he feels, as the manager, that it will benefit both those guys not to be on their feet for 2 straight days, that's what he is telling you. I know better than you do. I know a lot of people blanch at that because nobody Nobody can know better than somebody who's got a bag of Doritos and a beer watching the game on a lounger.
See, here's where you and I just disagree. I'm with you on Rob Thompson knows this team better. I do think Rob Thompson is a very good manager. I like him. I'm not calling for his job. You can question a lot of decisions of any manager. But in this particular instance, to let Bryce Harper take one damn at-bat, to me, doesn't ruin his day off.
You're looking at it like he's going to tiptoe through the tulips. He's going to take one at-bat. So he gets on base. Then he's going to run the bases. When he's not prepared.
Oh, God forbid, he's got to run the bases.
But the point is, he's expecting a day off. And now he's got to grind out something. This is what Rob Thompson wants to avoid. I know people look at it and go, it's one at-bat, Mike. It's more than one at-bat. It's a mindset change.
Listen, that's why Rob Thompson goes up to him in the 8th and says, hey, boys, may need you down the stretch here. What if the game goes into extras?
He's already told them, you're off, relax. Watch the game. Have a conversation with your teammates. Help them out that way. You're not playing today because I think it's best for you and the team in the long haul.
You like to call me a football guy.
You're a football guy.
This isn't football.
Light
exactly.
Fire. Let's go. Light a fire under
See, I'm looking at it the opposite. It's not football. You're not asking Bryce Harper to go in there and try to tackle somebody. You're saying go at bat and run the damn bases.
Go, and then take a guy out at second base. And then, steal second, or then tag up and go to third, and then score. Slide in home plate. You don't know what's going to happen in baseball. And plus, if you tie the game, he's got to play.
But you give yourself a chance to win the game. To me, that's more important when you're in a National League race.
It's not more important in a 162 baseball season. It's not more important. The long haul is more important. That's what's important.
But the long haul's here, Mike. We're in August now. You're in the end of August.
And you got us, a 7-game lead?
I don't care about the NL East. I care about the National League.
Relax.
You're a game up on Milwaukee. You're a half game up on the Dodgers.
Got two days off to prepare for a bigger series in Atlanta.
See, I don't think it is. I don't think it's that big of a series. The Braves aren't catching you.
It's bigger than Washington. That's the point. It's bigger than the Nationals.
About a Sunday game against the Nationals, the series you've already won.
At this point, it's about winning games. I don't care if you beat the Braves or not. It's about winning games. You're not in a race with the Braves. They're not catching you. The Braves aren't going to catch you in the NL East. But who can catch you are the Dodgers and the Brewers. So a win is a win, is the way I look at it.
You've got 13 games coming up against teams above 500. 7 of those games are the Atlanta Braves, who are 7.5 behind you.
Somehow along the line, I'm going to get you into a baseball mentality. It's going to be hard because you have a blocking sled in here, for Christ's sake. Right, good Lord.
We need one of those.
It's baseball. It's different. Jordan in Lehigh Valley, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jordan.
Mikey Miss, you're back. It's good to hear your voice.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I would love to call in after 15 years and just argue with you. Unfortunately, I think I agree with you. And there's just a perspective I'd like to add. It's really addition by subtraction. It's a long season. Mike's right. And I think when I coach little kid sports, my kids' sports, sometimes you got a kid up at the plate, you give them an opportunity early in the year. If they come through, what a huge confidence builder. You get your bench a whole game, a huge confidence builder, and really you might need them later in the year.
And how many guys has he done that with? In the last couple of years, Joey No Name comes up and has to fill in for a couple of months and gets a couple big hits every now and then because he knows the manager believes in him.
That's it.
Cal Stevenson isn't going to get an at-bat. He probably won't even be with the team in the playoffs, but that's not the point. He respects everybody.
But at least he'll be confident down in Lehigh.
Rob Thompson never got to the major leagues, right? Every guy that gets to the major leagues, he has great respect for. So he's not going to big time him and have Cal Peterson with the lonely walk back to the dugout. Here comes Bryce. He's not going to do that to a guy.
Bryce, think about who's pitch hitting for you.
But he's not going to do that to a guy, Bill. All right, what else, Jordan?
No, I just want to add to it. I think you're right. And also, 2 or 3 years ago, you would have asked me this. I would agree the other side.
Look, I get it. I get it. And I'm not trying to say Rob Thompson's the greatest manager on earth, okay? They've done pretty well under his command and the way he handles things. So I've got respect for that kind of thing. Now, If this was the Miami Marlins, it's different. This is a veteran star-laden team.
Yeah, to your point, a veteran star-laden team, when a veteran star comes up for Cal Stevenson, I don't think Cal is walking back to the dugout saying, man, he's got no confidence in me.
No,
Bryce Harper pinch hit for him.
But that's not really the point. You don't want to make a guy feel that he's inadequate. That's what Rob Thompson is all about. Don't make a guy feel inadequate, whether it's Bryce Harper or Babe Ruth.
So you'd rather lose the game? I don't understand
Bill,
this.
they won 3 of the 4. It's not like I'm crippling my team. If I lose that game on Sunday, it's not that big of a deal.
No, it's not that big of a deal.
Sometimes you got to know how to lose.
It's not that big of a deal, but to what your point then, you're okay with the scheduled loss. Well, you're saying, you know what? We got Walker on the mound.
Listen.
We got JT and Bryce on the bench. We lose this game, we're okay.
You know what? It didn't work out yesterday. They took a L. But I bet you Rob Thompson puts his head in the pillow. I did the right thing. I told those guys they're not playing for 2 days. We got a big series in Atlanta. I didn't yank Cal Stevenson out of the game. I did the right thing by his standards, not by yours.
Why does Harper need a day off that Castellanos never does?
I don't know, but he knows something about the mentality of certain players. He knows that maybe Castellanos has a red ass, and that if he takes him out of a game or he benches him, it's going to do something negatively. He knows better than I do.
I don't like it.
Felix in Tampa. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Felix.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great topic. Mike, somebody asked you like last week about Stubbs and you had no opinion. This is where it came back to bite us because Marshawn should be in the lineup. He should be the backup, not Stubbs. If Stubbs is so important, then make him the vibes coach, cut him as a player. That's basically like giving Big Dom a helmet and tell him to go block somebody. Bill, you're right. Stick to your guns. Next.
Well, hold on. What does Marshawn have to do with this subject that we're talking about?
Because Stubbs was up the bat, and Marshawn would have been a better.
Stubbs came up with nobody on base. What's the difference? What are you saying? That somebody could hit a 2-run homer?
I feel like Marshawn wouldn't have been an automatic out. But when I see Stubbs coming up the bat, that's an automatic.
All right, but it was 4-2. Like Marshawn wasn't going to hit a 2-run homer with nobody on.
I got you, man. I got more confidence in Marshawn in a role where
you're on this Marshawn kick, Felix. Now maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe that's the way it'll end up with playoff time. But come on, we're talking small potatoes here.
All right, Mike. You know why you're wrong? Mike Schmidt thinks you're wrong. Kruk thinks you're wrong. They both were like shocked that Harper and Real Muto weren't coming in the bat.
Yeah, alumni weren't happy.
All right, let me go to the next thing. Maybe something's going on with Harper that we don't know about. Maybe he's more hurt than
he's not more hurt. He wanted to give him 2 days off. That's what he does.
Well,
he does. He's done it 100 times.
All right,
where he gets a guy a day off and he's not going to play.
All right, Mike. I'm thinking that Bill is right and you're wrong. That's just I respect your baseball mind. I just think you're wrong on this one.
Okay.
All right. Last couple things. Please put your email address out again. I don't know what.
It's mike.miss@bbgi.com.
Thank you, sir. Last thing. I don't know where you stand on it, but because it was alumni weekend, dude. I'm not talking about this guy as the player, but the best guy to ever pick up a bat is not in the Hall of Fame or not in the Wall of Fame is the outrage. Life is about second and third chances. We've all made mistakes in our life, and I know you have, and I know I have. So, I mean, they need to, before he passes, just put him in the Hall of Fame.
Who are you talking about?
Pete Rose?
Pete Rose?
Pete Rose, absolutely. Pete Rose needs to be in the Hall of Fame, sir.
Wow, that's above my pay grade.
Well, what's your opinion about it?
I would think he should be in the Hall of Fame too.
And I'm curious to what the other guys think as well. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if anybody could say he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Right?
There's that new.
You think he belongs in the Hall of Fame?
I mean,
this guy Felix is all upset with. He's got issues. He's got the Marshawn issues keeping him up at night, and Pete Rose not in the Hall of Fame keeping him up at night.
Yeah, based off of his stats. There's a new documentary on HBO Max. I haven't watched it yet.
I did.
Is it any good?
No.
All I'm glad I didn't watch it. I'm glad I did not watch it yet.
That's why I haven't.
No, not for me. It didn't reveal anything except he gave him a chance to make more excuses for stuff. You know?
Yeah.
I did you watch it?
No, I haven't, and that's part of the reason why I'm not going to watch it because it feels like another opportunity for him to just kind of take the grandstand and hey, remember me? Supposed to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's the way it came out. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was very well done at all, and I expected a lot better.
Felix
I'm not going to watch
saying
it.
second and third chances. I feel like Pete Rose has been given a number of chances to just hey, lay low and let the time pass.
That was an HBO thing too, wasn't it? Normally HBO programs are pretty more in depth.
Well done.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I just watched the new one on Netflix about the whole Scott Peterson murder and everything.
Yeah.
That one was pretty good.
There, I think right now a serious lack of really good shows that you dig into.
yeah. You know what I restarted last night, Mike?
I don't know why. It's
I needed something new, so we restarted The Wire.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. You start watching something because it looks appealing, and then you keep watching it thinking it's going to get better. But it never gets better. And you waste a lot of time, and then people will start watching it just to bitch about how bad it is. Like, I'll give you an example. Presumed Innocent. What is that on? Is that on Apple? I have all of them. I think it's on Apple TV. Now, Presumed Innocent, they did a movie previously, Presumed Innocent, with Harrison Ford as the guy who was the lawyer who was accused. You know the whole premise of Presumed Innocent? It's a book by Scott Turow. He's a former lawyer.
I don't know it. I don't know it.
You don't.
Wait, what was the
know
movie? What was the movie? Same name?
Yeah, Presumed Innocent, and starred Harrison Ford, and they remade it as a Apple show. Now, I already knew the answer to the crime. Now, I'm not going to give it away, but I already knew the answer. So they remade it, and I got hooked into it thinking, wow, this is really going to be good because I enjoyed the movie. I've read the book, and it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Was now the star of it. And it just never went anywhere.
Wow, these are two shows I don't have to watch now, Mike's telling me.
Well, you should watch it because you may think differently because you don't know the answer.
I don't.
So you should watch it.
Well, I'm into The Wire right now, so
Okay.
I don't know if I have time for this yet.
All right.
But
Let me ask you a question. Do you watch you're a married man, right?
yeah,
You watch Emily in Paris?
no, I did not.
You don't? Your wife doesn't watch that?
No,
Do you watch the Bravo shows like the
absolutely not.
you don't watch Bravo shows with the wife?
Nope.
You've never seen a Real Housewives of whatever?
Never watched a single episode
Never.
of The Real Housewives.
The wife-
of any of them.
Wife not interested?
I think she may have watched before, but she's not a big.
You watch the morning show? It's
No.
on Apple TV with Reese Witherspoon and
Never watched that
I think
either.
I got 2 seasons
And-
into that.
Is that worth
the
it?
morning show.
Yeah.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, it's
I
very
think it's
interesting.
really good. I
Yeah.
liked it.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, I need new
but
shows.
Then I think it went nowhere.
Well, I think that's also why I might have
Jennifer
dropped off
Aniston.
after 2
Reese Witherspoon and
seasons.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
They produced it. It's
And
about
Steve Carell?
It's about a TV morning show.
Oh, you know what? I
National
just
TV
saw.
morning show.
She was in Times Square. They threw oil on her. That was a part of the show.
I don't remember
Yeah,
the oil.
something-
They
Yeah.
throw oil on her.
I don't remember the oil part.
And what's the name? Steve Carell
Yeah.
was in the early part of it.
I have to. I'll have to check it out. I'll have
All
to
right.
check it out. Oh,
Anyway,
my wife's checking in.
Yeah,
She says no, only crime documentaries.
she only watches crime documentaries.
Yeah, she
Does
likes
She
those.
watches. Do you have Apple TV?
Yeah, we have them all.
Do you?
I'm a dude.
You're-
I just spend money on TV like it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I need that change.
Yeah, so do I. 610-632-0975. We're going to talk some Eagle football in the 11 o'clock hour, but this is a hot topic with Rob Thompson because people love to hate this guy, and I don't get it. We're back after this. 7 o'clock. Yes, I am Mike Missanelli with Bill Colarulo, with Ray Dunn. This hour may be highlighted by a discussion of jeans. A little later, we're going to talk about jeans. What kind of jeans you wear. This is based on my love for Blake Lively.
I thought you were talking about genetics.
No.
Thought he was going Segura.
I'm talking about blue jeans that you wear.
I thought he was going Segura.
Blake Lively recently showed up at an event with a $19,000 pair of jeans.
Wow.
We're going to talk about how much football Bill Colarulo spends for his jeans a little later in the show. But right now, we got this Rob Thompson thing is fascinating to me. I think in general, people mistrust managers because let's face it, they're right there on the podium ready to get knocked off. Everybody has an opinion about a manager being a bonehead. It's one of the easiest arguments that you could possibly have. I was surprised that the caller said that Mike Schmidt and John Kruk, I didn't hear them say that they thought it was a bad move not to pinch Bryce Harper. Did they say that, right?
I was here.
Oh,
I was here when the
okay.
game was going on. So
I didn't catch either of them
In the
comments
booth,
on it.
in the booth when it was happening, I think Schmidt said, you got some power bats on the bench, something to that effect.
Yeah, I did hear him say that.
Right, something like that.
Was that what it was?
And I think he was referring to Bryce.
Okay,
and JT.
all right. But see, Schmidt's not around this guy every day. It would be surprising if Kruk said that because he's around more than Schmidt is. Schmidt checks into a game every now and then and just shows up. He's not. I don't think he's following every pitch of the Philadelphia Phillies. As much respect as I have for Mike Schmidt, I don't think he's one of those type of guys.
You're probably right, but I don't think you need to follow every pitch to disagree with the decision Topper made last night.
You do, because if you follow every pitch, you know that's the move he makes. That's not surprising that he would not make that move because you've seen him enough to know that this is how he manages. And my point is this. What he does as a steady hand outweighs any kind of criticism that you might give him for not pinch hitting Bryce Harper. So what he knows is that baseball players are insecure, often neurotic people. Because what they know is that on the other side of what they are now could be a bad wave coming. That baseball players are just like that. And he understands that. So he tries to take as much of that angst out as possible. That's what he does. That's
who in this situation?
For his players. He's got 25 guys in the clubhouse that he has to manage. The way he's decided to manage it is with a steady, stoic hand. And so he's not going to react to different things. And he reasons that with this kind of a team, that's better off for the long haul.
I understand the point, and I understand that being this calm, consistent manager can help in most situations.
Yeah.
But yesterday, when you are down 2 with a runner on first, and you have an MVP in Bryce Harper sitting on your bench, I don't think him going to Bryce and pinch hitting there is going to change the psyche of the team.
You might be right. And for the people, like, if you don't think Rob Thompson's a good manager, that's fine. I'm just telling you what is. Like I'm trying to explain to you that he's not going to do that. So you're getting your panties in a bunch for no reason. He is showing you his hand. This is the type of manager I am.
That doesn't make it right, though.
All right. Well, you didn't think it was right. He thought it was perfectly right because he's measuring it in different terms than you. All right, what do we got on the text board, Ray? A lot of texts are coming in on this.
A lot of texts on this one. Matt in Allentown, the mental day off for Harper is as important as the physical day off. He wakes up Sunday morning knowing that he can mentally check out for the day and recover that way as well. I got a texter going on your side on this one.
Wow.
I know.
Listen, I know that I'm in a minority because most people react viscerally to stuff like that. And I look at it a little deeper, knowing what Rob Thompson is all about. What else you got?
We got another texter checking in, getting upset that they even sat the day off, that no one would be complaining about them getting a day off if they had just started, and no, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So someone upset that they were not even in the lineup to begin with.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
You want to play 162 games? Then okay.
Well,
we'll see how
people-
that works out if you do that.
Some people have been upset on YouTube that they gave them both off on the same day, that they should have staggered it. But I'm okay with the day off. And to your point, Ray, JT, it would have been 6 days in a row.
Yeah, for him, which should be the most he's had. Plus, you got 13 games against better teams coming on. I'm not going to fight this. I'll keep with the
And he's
Texans.
just coming back from an injury also. So, 10 o'clock hour, by the way, was brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of their 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payments, no payments, and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. Let me just shift a little bit, and we'll continue this discussion for most of the day. There was I guess it was the ESPN? Yeah. ESPN ranking the NFL best and worst team units, group rankings by position. And I thought the Eagles got a little shortchanged on this. Maybe we think a little more of the Eagles than the rest of the world does, or the people that cover football. So let's just do a quick review here on what they did. At quarterback, they are ranked as the number 11th best unit at quarterback.
That's correct.
And you had Jalen as a top fiver.
I had Jalen at 5. You had him around 11. So
I did have him 11, yes.
They got Justin Herbert at 10, which, well, look, they did it by team, but
yeah, they
you're
did
talking
it by
about
team. I don't know if that includes the backup or not, or they're looking at it overall. But they have the Eagles ranked 11th. They have the best as the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the shakiest as Minnesota Vikings, obviously, and they believe that a unit to watch are the Pittsburgh Steelers with Russell Wilson. Come on, man,
and Justin Fields.
Yeah, stop. All right, at running back, the Eagles are ranked 6th. That's pretty high for them.
This one, I actually
got
thought they'd be
Saquon.
higher.
You
I
did?
thought they'd be higher with Saquon.
Well, you got to include the other guys as well. So the room is being ranked. So they're 11th behind the 49ers, who they say have the best unit. And obviously with Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, they have Juszczyk and Jordan Mason and rookie. And they say it's the shakiest, the Dallas Cowboys. How about that?
I completely agree with that. Ezekiel Elliott's not the same guy he was.
No, they brought him back, but
he's their starter.
He'll eat some innings, but but they're gonna Rico Dowdle, who had some moments last year, and then they got that little Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why I think the Cowboys aren't going to be as good. One, their offensive line's not as good, and now they have nobody to run the football. And I think Dak has performed very well when he has a running game to go with his passing game. He's not going to have that this year.
All right, this may surprise you, and it's probably because they don't have a slot guy. Wide receiver, the Eagles are ranked 7 in the league. The best being the Houston Texans, and then the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bears, and then the Eagles.
The Seahawks being ranked that high surprises me a little bit. I know that they have Jackson Smith-Njigba, who was a rookie last season. They still have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. But Tyler Lockett's no spring chicken anymore. He's 32. You're right. It's got to be because of the third wideout, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's move to the tight end. This is total disrespect. Because we were talking about this guy maybe as like the next guy, the next guy who was going to be like the Travis Kelce.
We've been saying that for a couple years.
Tight end, the Eagles are ranked 19 in the league. Not much respect for Dallas Goedert. Now, again, they don't have a backup that's noteworthy, except for a couple of guys that are still trying to find themselves. So maybe that pulls them down a little bit. But that's not much respect for Dallas Goedert at all.
No, to have him 19th, I thought maybe, in light of what you're saying, the fact that there's no real backup tight end, that he would fall out of the top 10. But all the way down to 19, that's...
Yeah, I mean, Calcaterra is not going to, let anybody up right now if you're evaluating the Eagles. Offensive line, solid. 5th in the league. Is that good by you? Detroit Lions have been ranked the best.
Yeah, the Lions do have a very good offensive line. That Sewell kid is a stud. But I'm okay with them being 5.
All right. That's good. I think they're a little low on a couple and just right on a couple. And we'll do the defense in a little bit. Let's go to Rashid in West Philly. Rashid, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
With the Eagles, right?
Yo, Rashid, what's up?
They started out 10-1 and then 13-1. I made a lot of money.
I think Rashid's talking to somebody. Hey, Rashid.
I was betting the money line, so I was getting them at 2.5 and shit like that.
Rashid was on hold, so he's got a conversation
You know what I
going
mean?
with
And
somebody.
then sometime I might have had a parlay. I might like 3 teams, and they all go.
Hey, Rashid. Yo, Rashid. Rashid. Yo, hello. All right, let me put him on.
Yo, he's having a pretty.
Let me put him on hold. She, come on, man. You got to get with it.
He's telling somebody about all his winners.
He is. All right, we'll take a break. Now you got to wait a break, Rashid. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-622-0975. Back after this.
Kincade.
I'm going to throw out a time. Not for nothing, but do we really need to give out rings for the Wall of Fame? It's just a thought that crossed my mind. Not for nothing.
I like what Middleton is trying to do.
Yeah, you like that? Would you wear a Wall of Fame ring?
You're not going to wear. You know what surprised me?
What's that?
When Carlos Ruiz threw out the first pitch and Brad Lidge caught it, neither one of them was wearing their World Series ring, I noticed.
I don't think they wear those things. I think they lock them away.
So the same thing with the Wall of Fame ring.
Yeah, I think that's a little overdone. Like you have to have a ring being on the Wall of Fame. Do we overdo the rings thing? Everybody gets a ring now.
Probably. We probably do, but I do like what John Middleton is trying to do.
You get a ring and you win the MAC conference. Yeah, like college kids.
When we win middays, I want a ring. Ray's getting a ring. What do you think, Ray?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take the ring. I don't think I strike anyone as a ring type of guy. I don't think I would wear a ring.
I wonder if the Phillies hope that Chooch turns down the invitation one of these years, because that costs them a lot of money to get him back from Panama.
Yeah, it probably does. But I'm not a ring guy either. I don't know if you noticed. I just got married. I wear it around my neck because I won't wear it on my finger.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I can't.
You don't like it on your finger?
Well, going to the gym, playing golf. I don't want to have to keep taking it on and off.
You don't want the stigma either.
So I just wear it around.
You don't want the stigma. You don't want the married stigma. You can't fool me.
My wife listens to the show. Nah, she knows. She knows I'm not an idiot. She knows I'm not an idiot.
All right, let me see if Rashid's ready, or is he still talking to his betting woes. Rashid, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy. How you doing?
Rashid, we had you on earlier, man. Do you know that?
My bad. I just was talking about 7th and Packer closing, man. That's a nice
you had a whole dialogue going on with somebody, Sheed.
Yeah, no, we were discussing where we're going to place our bet set for the football season.
You got to be ready, man. We're throwing fastballs here. You start sleeping down 0-1.
Listen, I'm happy you back on. I'm happy to talk to you again.
All right, brother.
You're a good guy. I'm happy for you, bro.
Thank you.
No, I just want to talk about Rob Thompson, though. I just feel like even with the situation as yesterday, even if you do give your guys a day off, like if you have opportunity to win the game, I think you do what you need to do to win the game, and you bring Harper or JT off the bench. And like my thing is this with that, it's too many schedule losses, and I know like always a random game on a Sunday night in August, but it can cost you having a first round bye and you having to play the first round of the playoffs. So like those things can't happen.
Yeah, but any game that you lose could do the same thing. So like, you can't just look at one game and say, well, because they didn't sweep a 4-game series against Washington, that's really going to hurt them. Over the long haul, the rest he's telling you is going to help them win more games.
True. I understand that when they say the rest help them win more games. My thing is this, the way they've been scuffling, you know what I mean? Like, you could try to get these guys in a little bit of rhythm.
Because they just won 4 in a row, bro.
No, I understand that. But my thing is still in the back of my head is they're going to all go cold again when we need them the most. That's the thing I'm so worried about.
You think like you're a sky is falling guy, Rashid. You think the worst thing that can happen instead of the best thing.
Well, no, I believe in the best thing can happen, but it's just what they showed me over the last 2 seasons where, like, we was up in the World Series, up against Arizona, and then they just went ice cold, and they couldn't.
I swear to God, people just can't wait to talk negatively.
You ever feel like nothing good was ever going to happen to you?
It's amazing to me. Well, I'm just worried about the melting down in the LLC. They lost the game to the freaking Washington Nationals. That's all had it happen. They lost 1 of 4.
And if they would have only lost this game, we wouldn't be overreacting. And I'm not overreacting now. I just don't like the fact that you go into the 9th and you basically didn't give yourself the best chance to win. That's all I want. If they would have lost this game, not overreacting, you won 3 of 4, that's fine. You didn't give yourselves the best chance to win because you felt that not having Bryce Harper do one damn at bat, Mike. What are we talking about here?
You look at it like one at bat, like he's gonna walk down to the corner store and buy a candy bar.
Yeah, but you act like it's
like one at bat could turn into he has to now play.
God forbid.
What if he wrenches his back in that one at bat?
What if?
God forbid. Like,
Well,
I'm saying, if he goes in the extra innings, then you've defeated the premise of giving him a day off.
You've got them winning in your scenario. You have the best thing happening in that scenario, Bill. When you say what if, your what if is that all of a sudden just rainbows all over the place.
No, you give yourself a chance. You give yourself a chance, but to your point, like, he could hurt his back. He could hurt his hamstring. Well, then, should we rest him the rest of the season until October?
No, but we'd be ripping Topper for, oh, wow, he was supposed to have the day off. He wasn't ready to go, and then all of a sudden you put him in that situation. Now he's hurt. Now we're in trouble.
That's exactly what happened. But even if you presume the best-case scenario, you still might have to play him in a day where you've already told him days off. He knows that when the manager gives him a day off, it's a day off. Now, you can't change it in mid-flight. For the long haul, it doesn't work that way. Jerry L. checking in. What's up, Jerry L.?
Mikey, what's happening?
What are you doing? What's happening?
You know, the same old, Mike.
That's my man, Jerry L.
I'm a little disappointed that Bill Colarulo has red hair. That's the biggest take of the day.
I don't have red
He
hair.
doesn't have red hair. Ray Dunn has red hair.
Ray Dunn does.
Oh, okay.
Our
I thought
producer.
he said he had red hair the other day.
No. He
I don't
doesn't
have
red
any hair. I don't have any hair. I had to shave it off.
He shaved his head. He had that horseshoe pattern going on, so he decided to shave it.
Yeah.
It was getting close.
Mikey, I got a little bit different take only because I've been working down the park.
Okay.
I never saw people that pitch by pitch they have problems with this team. Hasn't this guy Thompson showed you that he's on top of things?
I think he has with this team. Yeah, with this team, I think he has. I like the way he handles this team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was like, come on. And I actually like the fact that they lose the last game of that series because now you have a 4-game win streak. You go to Atlanta and you lose 3.
A lot of people aren't looking at that series as it's good to give guys 2 days off going into that series.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Really?
No doubt about it.
Yeah, all right, man.
You're talking about bringing 2 guys to the plate where the 2 guys who got you into the lead or got you tied haven't hit home runs since June.
Yeah, I don't think it was a good idea to bring Real Muto into the game at any level. Righty against righty. That kind of didn't make sense. Now, you can make the case that you should pinch hit Harper for poor Cal. What did he do in that at bat, by the way?
Double play.
Oh, he didn't do a double play.
Well, ground ball up the middle. Finnegan made a nice play.
Yeah.
And they turned the double.
That's right. The second baseman made a nice play, right? Yeah. What are you going to do, Jared? Yeah?
Mike, it's always good to talk to you. Take care of yourself. I'm glad to hear you.
You too, buddy. We'll run into each other somewhere along the line. Yeah, I just think that he thinks, like, he stuck with David Dahl for a while when he was up, right? And he paid dividends for him early on. And then he went totally south.
Cody Clemens, another guy he's stuck with.
Yeah, Cody Clemens, another guy. You need all those guys to get you through a season, man.
You're not going to need Cal Stevenson. He's not going to be here as soon as they activate Austin Hayes.
You need him to get through the season. See, this is what you conveniently miss. You're thinking, well, he's not going to play in the playoffs. That's not.
No. I don't think you're going to need him in a week.
Well,
when Austin Hayes comes up, Stevenson's gone.
Might not need him in a week. You need him now. You need him to feel good about himself that maybe he can help you. I'm not a Cal Peterson guy because I don't even know his name. I don't even know his name. But that's not really the point. The point is Rob Thompson has respect for everybody who puts on that uniform in that clubhouse, and he doesn't want to make them feel like a chidrul.
But then under that,
as they say,
under that perspective, then should you never pinch hit for anybody? Should you never pinch hit?
You are relentless with this.
Because
you are relentless with this.
You're going to lose him. You're going to lose the guy. He's going to lose his confidence. Stop. You should. It's a freaking at bat, man. Come on.
Take a break. 610-632-0975. People offended at the low ranking system of the Eagles. We're not in Eagles mode yet. People are they're in a holding pattern on the Eagles. We got to have a game. We got to have a game. Desperately have a game back after this. Coming up at 12 o'clock, the news at noon. Ray Dunn.
Which has been can't miss radio lately from Ray Dunn. He's doing a great job.
I'm here to announce that we will begin, I guess we'll do it Wednesday. Coming up Wednesday, 2 days. General Knowledge Wednesday with a different little twist. Here's the way it's going to work. It's Ray Dunn versus the audience. So basically, it's another name for it to be, are you smarter than a 24-year-old? And the way we're going to do it is the audience gets a question right. It's 1 point for the audience. Ray gets one right. It's 1 point for Ray. Now, the audience hasn't fared well in past General Knowledge Wednesdays. We used to scramble, and we used to put an over-under number on how many would get the questions correctly. However, with Ray's lack of life experience, I would think the audience is the betting favorite against Ray.
I don't know. I think you're underestimating Ray Dunn.
I think he's properly estimating me on this one.
We'll see how that works, and we'll give a prize. The people that get one right, we chart them all down, and at the end we pick randomly the person who got one right, and we'll get the prize picked out of a hat or however we do it against Ray. So Ray is not eligible for the prize. The audience is eligible for the prize, but only if the audience collectively beats Ray.
But here's where they're underestimating Ray. Ray, you're going to get a lifeline.
Ray, you're going to get 3 lifelines.
Oh, wow.
Where you can, but it's not like you're going to Albert Einstein to get the lifeline.
You're going
to Bill Colarulo.
You are going to Albert Einstein over here.
Maybe in your own mind.
You know what, Ray?
All right,
You're sure?
610-632-0975 is how you get into the show. All right, I brought this jeans thing up. How many? What's your limit on paying for a pair of jeans? But I don't wear jeans as much anymore. But after COVID, I wear joggers all the time now because they're more comfortable. But jeans are comfortable now. They get the stretch material.
Exactly, right? That's why I'll
Blake
spend.
Lively wore a $19,000 pair of jeans from the Italian fashion house Valentino. They had thigh-to-heel cutouts and hibiscus-shaped embroidery around the cutouts. $19,000.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's a little too much for you. You're not paying $19,000. All right. So what would be your go-to price for jeans?
$200. So I'll do it $200.
Whoa.
I like.
Look at Bill.
The Adriano Goldschmieds, the AGs.
Look at you. I like the AG. In fact, I wrote down the AG. There's 3 brands that I've purchased, and you can get them all at Nordstrom's. They have the best jean collection.
Nordstrom's is my store, Mike.
I
love Nordstrom's.
They have the best jean collection. So either I go with Citizens of Humanity, AG, or Page.
Page is a good jean, too.
Nice.
I got a lot of Pages, like different colors.
Are those jeans $200 now?
Pages, I think, maybe $200, too. I know Adriano's are.
What do you think, Ray? What are you paying for
I'm not going over triple digits.
You're an $89 max guy?
See, here's where it's worth it, though, Ray.
Okay.
If you actually look at how many times you wear jeans, because you wear that same pair of jeans a lot, you can justify spending the money on a good pair of jeans because you're going to wear it a ton.
Yeah, and the feel of those jeans that they sell now for $200. I mean, I know it hurts to pay $200 for a pair of jeans, but those jeans are really good jeans. They stretch material. They hug you a little bit.
Comfortable.
Yeah, they fit really well. All right, $19,000 is out though. I bet you Laura from Rockledge pays $19,000 for jeans. Laura, what's up?
Michael.
Laura, how much you pay for jeans?
Well, first of all, if I had $19,000, it wouldn't be going to jeans. I'll tell you
going
that.
to jeans? All right.
I mean, I'll pay. Listen, I think the most I ever paid for a pair of jeans, and this is the stupidest thing I ever did, and I still have them. I bought me a pair of apple bottom jeans when apple bottoms were a big deal.
Did you get the boots with the fur or no?
I did have some boots with the fur. I'm not going to lie, but my Irish white behind had no business buying no apple bottom jeans. I'll tell you that right now.
Really?
I mean, come on, man. Come on, man.
All right.
Anyway.
I don't even know what apple bottom jeans are. What are they?
They were back, with the boots with the fur. They were a big thing back in the day.
Goodfellas style? Were they Goodfellas style?
She's talking about the song. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
You got to have an apple bottom, with some, anyway. But I don't know, $50 maybe I'll pay for a pair of jeans, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so here's the thing with Bryce Harper and the day off thing, right? Because I'm all with that. No, a day off is a day off, all right? And when I, had my career with Giant, and and inevitably this would happen on my day off, right? And they'd be like, we know it's your day off, and we don't need you to stay a whole shift, but can you come in for like an hour or two? That actually pisses me off even more. If I'm coming in on my day off, I'm coming in for a full shift. I'm not coming in for an hour or two. What in the hell are you talking about?
So it throws you off mentally.
No.
I hear you. So you're not working for Giant anymore?
Nah, we parted ways. Not badly. I had an injury.
Laura helped me out once on a ham.
Yes, sir.
So the rumor is Laura doesn't work for Giant anymore because she stuck up for you about the bags.
Oh my
God. No, she stuck up for me about a ham.
Yes, I did. Christmas.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Now here's what happened. You get a free ham
if you spend over $100.
Well, yeah, however they calculate it.
Yeah.
It comes out on your check. Would you like to cash this in for the free ham or whatever? So the free hams, though, are the hams that I don't like. They're the fatty, wet hams.
So you wanted a different ham.
The wet, fatty hams. I wanted the ham that was like, it's hard to describe, but it has the like the honeycomb top on it, but it's a solid piece. It's not fatty and wet.
So what did the rules say of
the rules? So
ham
you couldn't have that ham. That was not part of the free ham. It was that you had to have the fatty, wet ham,
and you didn't want to stand for it.
No, I figured I get a coupon for a ham. Well, just give me the ham I want, like the Hatfield ham that's wrapped in the, what I'm talking about.
I can picture it right now.
You know what I'm picturing?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't want the big ham that has the bone in the middle. It's the boneless ham that I like.
Now, this may be an unpopular opinion. I'll eat anything. I really don't have a picky palate.
Not a ham man?
I can't do the ham.
What?
On Easter, every single year, my family bakes the ham. I can't stand it.
Because you got a fatty, wet ham.
Not a fan of ham. But the thing is, I like prosciutto.
These ones I'm talking about aren't fatty and wet. They're just the ham, and you slice it real thin, and they're nice.
It's the baked ham. I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
even the honey baked hams, I don't like.
You got the bone in it. The ham with the bone, no good.
I don't think I do. I think my grandma made
No. She spiral cut it. It's probably a spiral cut ham has the bone in it.
I don't know that they use like ginger ale on it and stuff like that. Don't they do that to make it?
I don't know.
I
never had one with ginger ale.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm
ginger
talking
ale
about.
after the meal.
I don't even know what I'm talking about because I would never eat it. They would always have to make, like on Easter, my grandma would have to make some sort of pasta dish for me because I can't do the ham.
The Italians go with the ham plus the pasta, just like Thanksgiving. It's the turkey with the pasta.
Oh, my God. We would have raviolis before the turkey got to the table.
You got to do that. You can't not have a pasta, even if it's an Easter.
Always have to have pasta.
That's correct. All right, 610-632-0975. All right, we got some more texts. We got a lot of Thompson texts. Let's go to the text. What I've noticed about this shift here is that more people text than call. It's easier to text these days. See, the 2 years I was out, there's been a transition.
Yes.
So what do you got on the text board about Rob Thompson?
Someone that I didn't know knew how to text. Uncle Frank checking in.
Uncle Frank checking in on the text board?
On the text board.
Okay.
I found it egregious that Topper didn't bring Harper in, and also, why didn't he hit for Stubbs on that last out?
Yeah. See, again, at that point, why would you hit for Stubbs? There's nobody on base. Why would you hit for Stubbs there? Why?
I have less of a problem.
I can see a home
with
run that ties the score.
Yeah.
But come on.
Less of a problem with Stubbs there.
Yeah, Real Muto needs the day off more than probably Harper does at this point. So once, it's a foregone conclusion.
And the issue is when Stubbs comes to the plate, even if you didn't want to pinch hit JT for him, you didn't have another left-handed bat on the bench, right? There's nobody else who was lefty.
Again, you're not going to pinch hit a righty against a righty.
So that one,
not do that.
That one I could get behind. It's the Letton Stevenson hit that I had the problem with because he's the tying run at the plate.
Okay.
Mark and Cherry Hill, there are 38 games left. It is not the last 2 or 3 games until the playoffs. If the Phillies cannot do enough in the last 38 games to get a bye, tough. The complainers are panicking. Consider what the chance of winning then really was.
It's funny about people when they watch a baseball game. They love to have an opportunity to criticize the manager. It doesn't matter who it is. Now, Charlie was immune to that for a while, and then even Charlie got it a little bit. But, they were that team just rolled on, and so there wasn't much that you could criticize Charlie Manuel on. For some reason, Rob Thompson brings that out in people. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of why that is. Why do you think Rob Thompson is considered a solid manager by the majority of the fan base. But there's a semblance of people that love to try to look at him and say he's inferior in some ways. What is it about that?
You're right on that, and I'm not one of those people. I do second guess what he did yesterday, but overall, I think he's a very good manager. But I'm with you on that. There are a contingent of fans, maybe even some people here at the station,
because that goes overboard to like the ride with Philly Rob. I ride with Philly Rob concept, which was prevalent, right?
Well, I think a lot of it probably comes down to what happened in last year's NLCS.
The NLCS.
Yeah.
You're probably right. That turned the tide. So now people look at him critically, and they can't wait for him to do something where they can yell about.
Yep. Yeah, you're probably right. Last year, it was frustrating seeing Kimbrel keep coming out, but he stayed true to what he pretty much did down the stretch last year. So,
is it that this team is so likable to players that when they're parceling out blame, fans don't want to put it as much on the players and want to just look right to the manager?
Probably. I think they like this team. The fans like this team. You brought up a good point, the Kimbrel thing. He wrote Kimbrel as his closer, and he doesn't have a closer this year. Don't you think he's done a wonderful job managing the bullpen? Now, they're leaking a little bit right now because it's a long season, and you're going to, as a relief pitcher, you're gonna hit a wall every now and then. I think they'll come back. But the way he has juggled closing out games, you don't think has been a really good managerial job?
I think there's been a lot more good than bad, definitely. I mean, even you go back to the playoffs last year, I know some of the decisions we can second guess. There were some games where he was masterful in how he managed the bullpen and got them some wins. So you can always go back and second guess, I guess. But to your point about the bullpen right now, Mike, I got this stat from John Stolness on Twitter. In the second half of the season, listen to these ERAs for the bullpen. Mm-hmm. Hoffman, 5.11. Strahm, 4.76. Kirkring, 6.55. And Alvarado, 5.91. So the manager, it's hard to press the right buttons when the buttons are broke.
Here's the thing about relief pitchers. They throw a lot. They warm up a lot. They are used a lot. And occasionally you're going to have a little bit of fatigue arm. And I think that is what's happening to the Phillies now in the bullpen. But by the same token, then you rev it back up and you get past that stage and you're ready to go, which I think will happen to the Phillies. I think they're all pretty quality pitchers down there, the four anyway.
Yeah, I think they're going to be okay. We talked about it last week. I still think this entire season right now hinges on Ranger Suarez's health. How does Ranger look when he comes back? And I think we may see him next weekend, right, Ray? Is that the plan?
There's a chance. And then he was asked post-game about pitching him, I think, the Saturday in Kansas City, and he certainly opened the door for it. He didn't guarantee it, but he opened the door for it.
Yeah, it was a nice weekend. I know a lot of people love to see the players come back. Utley wasn't there, but Ryan Howard looks magnificent. Yeah, he looks like he's in great shape.
I remember, was it a couple of months ago, Ryan Howard was in the softball game, and he did that patented bat drop, Ray, on the home run.
Kick back on the home run, won MVP of the game.
Brought back some good memories. What'd you think of the naming it Monty's Angle?
I think that was a good way to honor him. I mean, Dave Montgomery's a really good man. And rather than just have like some plaque or something, Monty's Angle, and I heard him talking about it a little bit, that he looked at when they built that stadium, he mentioned that specific angle.
It was very cool, I thought.
Yeah, and so that's a good idea to honor him. I think that's why a lot of players came back. They had a lot of respect for him. He was a really good man.
Yeah, it did seem like that, and it was cool to see some of that 08 team in the building.
Yeah. Here's something that I don't enjoy watching the game, and I'm subject to it at least, 6 times a game. I don't know who came up with the idea of having those Luke Wilson Miller Lite commercials.
Oh, I hate them.
They are driving me nuts. Now, what?
It is both. It is both.
I got to ask you a question about this. And I know there's some advertising people out there that listen to the show. On what planet would you have shown that to your client, and the client said, "That's a great commercial. Let's put it on"? I do not understand the life of me. That guy that's in the the little booth there, on Ashburn Alley, and he's got it in his. But what is? Am I missing something? That's a terrible commercial.
So I'm with you, and I think that a lot when I watch commercials, like who came up with this. But think about what we're doing right now. You know the commercial.
Yeah, but
You're talking about the commercial.
But we're not knowing it for the right reason. Like, I'm not bringing it up because they got me thinking about Miller Lite. I wouldn't buy Miller Lite anyway. But the point of it is, what is clever about that? It's about as clever as cream spinach.
I'm with
that commercial.
But it's memorable. I think the commercial's terrible, but it is memorable. Isn't that the point?
It's not memorable. It's only memorable because I see it 6 times during a Phillies game. It's horrendous. I can't stand it.
It is a terrible commercial. But I think that's the point. Maybe they know it's bad, and they just want you to talk about it and remember it. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's kind of working for me. It reminds me, hey, I got a Miller Lite in the fridge. Might go pop one of those. Every once in a while, you get deep into that game.
I know people go, well, see, Mike, you're talking about it. That's what they... But it's like, it's not, there's nothing clever about it. Like, I'd like a commercial that at least gives me something clever. I'm not going to buy the product anyway, but at least give me some entertainment value with it.
Commercials, though, they don't hit the same like they used to. Because most people don't even watch commercials. See, I told you before, I have YouTube TV. On YouTube TV, when the game goes to commercial.
You do the Zen break?
Yes, you could actually click a button.
Oh, my.
And you get a Zen video as opposed to commercial. I don't do it.
Yes, you do. You 100% do it. Don't back out of it now.
I'm taking it
You
to Zen.
absolutely do it.
I want to make you Miller Lite. You hire an advertising agency, and they come in, they give you this. They give you Luke Wilson and some crazy nut yelling, it is both. Are you saying let's go with that? Let's go with that.
You need to know what the alternative was.
Yeah, what is the alternative?
I go... Fellas, we just gave you a year to come up with this
and who
concept.
is it? Jorge Posada? Is that who the other guy is? Who's the other guy in the commercial with Luke Wilson?
I know. Ortiz is on one side,
That's a different commercial.
Oh, it's Ortiz. Isn't Posada in one too?
Yeah, they face each other. Yeah, and then there's another one with J.J. Watt and Luke Wilson and Reggie Miller.
See, you remember all of them.
Well,
for not liking them, Mike remembers every single one.
But I remember the commercial. I don't care about the product. You've never seen the Reggie Miller one? He goes,
It jumps into the box? Yeah, we've seen it.
Miller for Miller. That's yeah, that way. First of all, Luke Wilson, I don't even know if I like him.
Yeah, I'm not a huge...
Could you imagine being
Luke
the ad
Wilson
agency that had your ad rejected, and you're sitting at home watching that Miller Lite ad? Like, whatever you pitched to them, you're like, they went with this over us?
Wasn't Luke Wilson in the gang that fought the news team?
In Anchorman, yeah.
In Anchorman?
Yes.
Didn't Luke Wilson lose his arm?
I think he did.
Did he lose his arm in that battle?
Yeah.
In
Is
Anchorman?
Is that the first one or the second?
I
First one,
was
right?
at my golf club one Saturday, and I walk into the locker house where people congregate after, and he was sitting at a table.
Who was Luke Wilson?
Luke Wilson.
Good
He just
golfer?
played golf. I don't know. He knew a guy. He knew a member, and the member invited him, and he was there. He was sitting down having a drink.
I wonder if he's any good.
610-632-0975. All right, 12 o'clock hour. We got the news at noon. We also got Bill Colarulo's Eagle Breakdown. Bill follows every snap of this preseason, which is more than I do. And he's going to give us the highlights of how the Eagles are looking in practice after their wonderful performance against the New England Patriots. And I can't wait for this game also, this preseason game.
Big Tanner McKee time.
Yeah, the day I click off the days until I get the preseason game action.
We're almost there.
Mr. August, Tanner McKee.
There he is. Mike Missanelli Show right here, 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, this is Mike Missanelli Show, noontime, and at noontime, we do a little thing called the News at Noon, where Ray Dunn goes around the globe to come up with some interesting little stories.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
News at Noon. Ray, what do we have today that has tickled your fancy?
Got a whole weekend to catch up on. We're going to start in the world of football. Mahomes, Kelsey playing in the preseason. And they made the internet explode with the behind-the-back pass that went for like 5 yards. But, hey, it was really, really cool to see in a preseason game. Am I right? So both of them got a chance to explain it, and I think both of them are liars.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, Travis didn't run the route he was supposed to run, and then it was kind of a behind-the-back pass, kind of because I was mad. I was pissed off at Travis. He was supposed to run a flat route. I don't know if you can hear me on the broadcast. I'm yelling at him, and then he doesn't run it. So out of spite, I do a behind-the-back pass, but now it's going to be a highlight.
It wasn't a play. No, it was a play. It was a first down. You know, he's got the voice thing, and so he kind of mumbled out the play. I couldn't hear it. I was walking up to the line. I was like trying to decipher what he was saying. Before I knew it, he snapped the ball, and and then I kind of saw him out of my peripheral run to the sideline. So I was trying to go help my guy out. By the time I looked over there, he was already in mid-form, like a photo on a sports card, throwing the ball to me. So it was just, I guess, right place at the right time.
Huh? Why do you think they're both lying? Yeah, Andy Reid said they practiced that, and he's been trying to get Mahomes to do that, right?
Yeah, that's what I believe the truth is.
Yeah, but then both of them confirmed that he didn't really hear the play, and I think that maybe because Mahomes got confused, he thought the only way he could get it to him at that angle of his body was to throw behind his back.
I just think two guys at the top of their position in the league playing the preseason. Let's have fun with this one. Whatever they call it in, let's just roll with this. We'll make a little highlight. We'll have some fun with it. Joke at each other's expense after the game.
Well, see, you can do that in the preseason. I don't think Andy Reid would have the cojones to actually do it in a game where or a turnover could really make you lose a game in the regular season.
Right, which is why I think they did in the preseason. They're like, let's have a little fun here. Who cares? It's the preseason.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it in a game, but if they practiced it, you never know.
Yeah. Two very good players. I'm just a little over seeing Travis Kelsey everywhere. And I saw over the weekend, he just got cast in a new show on FX now. Another one.
Yes. Yeah, good for him. Why
money.
do you have beef?
I don't have beef. He's everywhere, man.
He's jealous. He loves Taylor.
Look, I played tight end.
So Hawk to a girl. Yeah, it's America, man.
It is America.
Whoever's hot, they milk it.
What was your take, Mike? We didn't get a chance to talk about when Travis Kelsey almost knocked Andy Reid over in the Super Bowl.
I didn't like that at all. As far like, what are you going to do in a game though? The game's going on at that particular situation. That was bad form, man.
If they didn't win that game, I think it would have been a lot more. Lot more to it.
That's no good.
All right, let's take you from the world of football to the world of basketball, NBA podcasts. And, Mike, I got to ask you, what do you think about Gilbert Arenas' podcast?
Gilbert Arenas is a total idiot. And his podcast is exercising idiocy. But sometimes you get some pearls of wisdom that come out of it.
One of our first show meetings, that's what Mike said to us. He said, hey, guys, like Gilbert Arenas. That was the example.
Yeah. Milk that podcast for its ignorance.
Well, here we go. We got a conversation coming out of that podcast.
There you go. Let's hear it.
What is Steph Curry's go-to? The three, right? If we take that away, is he still dangerous?
Yes.
Right? Is he Hall of Fame dangerous?
No.
Right?
Steph without a three?
Will he still be considered top two if you took away his three-point shot?
No.
Right? The fact that we're questioning that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he would find other ways to get bucket. No.
Well, I can't, like, I don't. He raises a decent point, though. Was Gilbert the one talking or answering?
He was the one who began it.
Oh, he was all right. So
he was the one who began it.
Without the way he shoots it, would he be a Hall of Famer? I don't think he would be. I mean, that's what he is defined by. The fact that his long-range shooting ability, the greatest shooter that the league has ever seen, and that's like part of his resume. What else would he get to the Hall of Fame with if he didn't have that?
I just mean, if you take away the best skill of any player, what is their game going to be?
Well, so you're saying it's obvious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This conversation, it's peak NBA offseason fodder for you of, Well, if Steph Curry couldn't shoot, what would he be doing?
Yeah,
If they remove the home run, Albert Pujols isn't a great baseball player.
You took the microphones away from us.
So, see, I missed that. You're saying it was so stupid to even address it.
Yeah, it's like, of course he's not the same player without the. If Ray Allen couldn't shoot.
I thought you were making a point that he would still be a Hall of Famer without that.
Yeah.
The opposite. I should have known better.
No.
All right, that's my bad.
Just think the exercise that they're going through.
Yeah.
But thank you, Gilbert. I appreciate you guys breaking
I
that down
never
for me.
expected Gilbert Arenas to have that kind of a voice. He's got like a raspy DMX type of thing going. And I didn't think that was his voice. Like when I first heard a clip from the Gilbert Arenas podcast, I go, who is that? That's Gilbert Arenas? Like I never heard him talk really.
Yeah, that's what he sounds like. I didn't really put much thought into that one. I just couldn't believe that we're at the point of if Steph Curry couldn't shoot, what would he be?
Yeah.
Not Steph Curry.
Voudrew just asked on YouTube, if Joel Embiid was only 5'11", would he still be good?
If LeBron wasn't a freak athlete, would he be the same player?
You know, it's funny because he went to Arizona, right? Arizona usually has all the soft-spoken brothers, right? Most of them are soft-spoken.
At Arizona?
I didn't think
At Arizona, right? No?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Miles Simon, guys like that. Richard Jefferson.
Richard Jefferson gets brutalized on ESPN all the time. He walks into a number of jokes consistently.
Yeah,
remember,
he does. He does.
Chris Mills?
I do remember Chris Mills.
Chris Mills, Ray doesn't know who Chris Mills is, but Chris Mills was the guy that shut down the Kentucky program because they found a FedEx envelope with money in it. That was and the assistant coach who did it was a longtime NBA kid, became a longtime NBA coach, Dwayne Casey.
He was
Dwayne Casey he was the guy that sent the package of money. And somehow the FedEx envelope was ripped open and there was money inside. That's how they tracked the illegal payments to a recruit. It was to Chris Mills and another guy. I forget the other guy's name. So Chris Mills wound up transferring to the University of Arizona, and Villanova I was covering college basketball at the time for the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I said I'm going to go to the arena. I forget what the arena was called, a big arena, catch practice. So I park and I'm ready to go in, and I hear this big Porsche come rumbling. I turn around, it's Chris Mills. He went to Arizona. He had a Porsche. After he put a school on probation.
He got a bag of money, you said, or was it a package?
It was a FedEx envelope of money.
No, it was Ricky Rowe that got the bag of money on the tractor.
Yeah, Ricky Rowe. But that came from that story. I forget who the other guy was. Two of them got envelopes full of money, and it was tracked to Dwayne Casey, the assistant at Kentucky at the time.
Ray, you know who Ricky Rowe is?
Over my head.
You didn't see Hoosiers, Ricky?
No, Blue Chips.
Oh, Blue Chips. I'm sorry. It was Blue Chips. You
ever see Blue Chips?
No. Oh, man, you got to see Blue Chips. It's one of the great sports movies ever.
Shaq's in it. Penny Hardaway's in it.
Yep.
All right.
Classic.
To the list it goes. Talking about money and lots of it. Paul George got a lot of it. Quincy Poindexter this week found his way onto the This League Uncut podcast. That's Chris Haynes and I believe Mark Stein do that podcast and shared the story of Joel Embiid and the recruitment of Paul George.
I talked to his people a lot, was getting Joel Embiid to get on the phone with them. Joel's one of my best friends. And so how Joel got Paul's number to start trying to pitch it to him was through me. I don't even know how much the Sixers know this, but quietly, one of the biggest, I hate to say this, one of the biggest pieces in that was me being like, Joel, you gotta keep recruiting him. You gotta try to get him. You gotta get him. You gotta talk to him. You gotta, whatever it is. And even talking to, Joel, talking to Paul's friends during the time. And, there was a time when Joel gave up. He was like, there's no way he's coming. There's no way he's coming to Philly. There's no chance. I called P's friends and they were like, Q, trust me. He has a great chance. Like, you guys are doing right. Joel's like, for real? Called him back. It's like, bro, keep recruiting him. This was like 8 days before free agency. And he was like, for real? And I was like, bro, you have a great chance. Keep going. And this all happened, man. Like, I don't want to take credit. I haven't said it publicly or anything, but like people that know, they know.
You know. I don't know who Quincy Poindexter is.
Really?
Yes.
Former NBA player.
Well, how long was he an NBA player?
8 years.
Really?
But he has
I vaguely have heard the name. I have no clue on why he would be Joel Embiid's best friend.
Last played in 2019.
He knows Paul George. They both grew up in California. Poindexter believes from the Fresno area. Paul George, Fresno State. Embiid and Poindexter's connection similar. I think it's the same agent. And around the same time that Embiid sat out with the navicular bone injury, Poindexter had one as well, and they had the veteran talk to Embiid, and they bonded over that. That was explained later on the podcast. But that's how the two of them got to know each other. Same agent, same injury. Poindexter was a vet in the league. Embiid had just gotten into the league.
Quincy Pondexter.
So there you go.
He played.
There's the credit.
355 games in the NBA.
Didn't have a great
I don't have any recollection of this dude's career at all. You know, it was weird to hear John Kruk say he was friends with Kyle Macy. Did you hear him say that on the broadcast? Kyle
Yesterday?
Macy. Yeah, how would he be friends with Kyle Macy, a former Kentucky guard who played in the NBA for a little bit? He says his good buddy Kyle Macy.
I didn't hear it.
He played a charity game with him once, and Kyle Macy dropped like 60, and the rest of the guys had like 3.
Oh, he played in a charity basketball game?
Yeah, but I don't know. He didn't explain how he would know Kyle Macy.
I don't think Kruk
Kyle
would
Macy from West Virginia?
I couldn't imagine Kruk being a good basketball player.
First guess, he was born in Indiana. So, yeah, went to high school in Indiana. So I have no idea.
What is the connection? Anybody know the connection between John Kruk and Kyle Macy? It's interesting because I liked Kyle Macy when he played for Kentucky.
Trying to find how there'd be any connection between them, and this is very difficult to find where they would have crossed paths.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, that is the news at noon. Now, Ray, since we have you here, you have some kind of an interesting wedding gift dilemma. Explain that to the people. What's up?
So I'm coming up 2 weeks from now. I'm taking a trip out to Kansas City for my buddy's wedding. Very excited for him.
Kansas City?
Yeah, out in Kansas City. Lives out there.
All right.
Question for me, I have not done the wedding gift thing before. All the weddings I have gone to has been with my family, and that wedding gift has been taken care of for me.
Can't go wrong with cash.
Well, that might be where this goes. For a guy traveling to a wedding, how much is the desired spending point? Also,
I see where you're figuring. You're figuring in that you're spending money to get out there.
Correct. Where do they got the registry set up? They got things that they're looking for. How much do you spend when you're traveling to go out for a wedding?
Normal. Unfortunately for you, you have to spend the normal amount. You can't deduct because you are incurring expenses to go to Kansas City with the flight and the whole bit. Because they don't understand that. People getting married are only going to look at your cheap gift.
I see.
They're not going to factor in that you had to come to Kansas City.
And what's the relationship to these people?
One of my best friends from high school.
All right, so he'll be invited to your wedding.
Correct.
So whatever you give, you're going to get back if you ever get married. So don't worry about it.
That'll be the other part of it.
What is that? That's like a good friend?
Yeah, a good friend of mine.
That's at least a $200 bill for you, isn't it?
I mean, I guess that's what I'm asking here. I don't know how much you're spending this.
I would think $250, but what do you think, Bill?
You're going solo or are you bringing a date?
I'm going solo. Listen, I'm not paying for something to come near Kansas City.
I think you could get away with $200.
$250, $200 a plate? Yeah, that's what you got to figure in what your plate's costing.
Now, are there going to be single bridesmaids at this wedding, Ray?
Listen, I'm not going all the way with the question. When I get there, we'll figure out what everything looks like.
No question there'll be some bridesmaid in that fold, Ray.
We'll see. You know, we got 2 weeks till I get there.
Wait, are you going to miss the show or are you going on it's just a weekend?
I'll miss the Friday, yeah. Not this Friday, the next Friday.
Friday. We can't do without him. The show just started.
Unacceptable, Ray.
Come on, man.
Hey, man, if you want to switch the non-refundable stuff for me, feel free to.
Yeah, well, if can you send him money? Hey, I'll send him the check. You stay here.
Now, wait. Mike, what's your position on this? I've always gone to a wedding and I brought the card with me. But I've had people say you have a year to send the gift. See, I think you got to bring it the night of the wedding, don't you?
You can send him to get a year.
I've had people say to me, you have a year to send the gift.
Well, why would you not give them the gift there?
Unfortunately, I've had 2 weddings, so I've experienced this twice, where people don't bring the gift that come to the wedding. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll get it to you. I have a year.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I don't know what that's all about. That's very odd. My weddings are based on like Goodfellas. Hey, Karen, there's a little something to get you started.
Yeah, you worry someone's going to take the money?
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. They won't steal that here. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Shaquille O'Neal.
By the way, Ray, I accumulated a list of new tunes for you. I'll send
Fantastic.
you that.
Thank you.
I'll send you that. I got some alt mixed in there. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Now, we haven't talked Sixers yet. We're going to talk Sixers in a second. However, the topic of the day is a hard-hitting topic that a lot of people like to weigh in on. And they've weighed in on the phone, on our YouTube chat, and on Twitter about what Rob Thompson did not do in the ninth inning yesterday. And we have varied opinions on this. I think that Rob Thompson is Rob Thompson. It did not shock me at all that he didn't pinch hit for Cal Stevenson in that situation. And I think he's got the greater good in mind. Can we let's hear the quote. Rob Thompson was asked about it, and then he has a way of shutting down conversation without being nasty. Like he should just give you a short answer, and you can't ask another follow-up. But here was the conversation after the game with Rob Thompson.
With the timer at the plate of the ninth, why not pinch it with Bryce there?
I wanted to give both him and JT a full day.
Is that hard for you to not want to put one of your best hitters up there?
Absolutely, but I'm thinking long-term as well.
And that's the end. That's it. You can't ask another follow-up after that. He asked the follow-up, yeah, but I'm thinking long-term as well. And that's the end of the conversation. And that's what Rob Thompson does. He thinks for the long haul. And in that situation, he told those guys, you have a day off, mentally refreshed, physically refreshed. It's not like he hasn't done that before. Every time he tells the guy he has a day off, he's not going to bring him in the game in a pitching situation. So I think that stoicness pays more dividends than it doesn't over the long haul. People can react to one at-bat and say, well, that was necessary at the time, and you're trying to win as many games as you can. But Thompson manages a certain way. And I don't understand how you can have a problem with it because the guy's been more successful than not managing his way. Bill has the opposite opinion of it.
And listen, I like Rob Thompson. I think he's a very good manager. And I agree with you that his stoicness, his patience, his steady hand usually will bode well. But in this situation, if you're looking at the big picture, like he says, looking at the long haul, you're only a half game up on the Dodgers. You're only one game up on the Brewers. And you have an opportunity with a man on, tying run at the plate, with one of your best bats on the bench. To me, to have him come in for a single at-bat is not the end of the world. And if he comes in and he ties up the game and he ends up staying in and you go 12 innings, well, now reevaluate. Maybe give him another rest day later on in the week. But you try to win the damn game, and you didn't give yourself the best opportunity to win with Cal Stevenson at the damn plate. It just doesn't make sense to me, Mike. You play to win the game.
All right, so you're reacting like a fan would react to it.
Not as a fan.
Yes, you are reacting exactly like a fan because a fan doesn't know what Rob Thompson knows. And that's why you got to trust the guy who knows more about his team than you just sitting on a lounger saying, well, how come they're not hitting Harper there?
See, I think you're putting too much weight in the fact that, God forbid, he told the guy he had the day off, he has to come in and swing a bat.
I'm not putting too much weight on it. What I'm putting on it is that's what he does. He is true to himself in the way he manages. And because he is true to himself, that pays bigger dividends than not.
Not all the
obviously,
time.
I can sit here and say, would I rather have Bryce Harper up in that situation? Well, of course I would rather have Bryce Harper up. But you got to go to the second level here with Rob Thompson, the way he manages, the way he lets people, when he says something, they trust him, that they're going to have a mental and physical day off. And he's also saying, hey, Cal, I'm giving you a shot here. He does not like to denigrate anybody who's on that 25-6-man roster in that clubhouse.
I don't agree with your argument about the rest day, but I understand where you're coming from. The other part of your argument about Cal Stevenson and not wanting to upset him, that one doesn't make any sense.
Well, Lee, I'm not asking you to make sense for me, right? I am not sitting here advocating that Cal Stevenson is a better situation than Bryce Harper. I'm advocating for that the manager knows better. And because he's known better, they've won a lot of games with him managing the same way. Players trust that Rob Thompson is going to manage a certain way. When you start breaking that, when you start messing with the lineup, when you start doing this, doing that, you have a chance to lose players. And that's what he knows, being in the game for 100 years.
You're going to lose Cal Stevenson anyway because you're going to put him back down in AAA.
It's not about Cal. You
All right, well, let me ask you
Cal
then.
Stevenson.
So then,
it's looking at a clubhouse.
Okay, so let's look at it. What kind of message does it send? Brandon Marsh, you don't let him hit lefties. Bryson Stott, that you're platooning him with Sosa. Johan Rojas, that you keep putting him down on the bench every time there's a righty on the mound. So what kind of message does that send? If you're worried about the message it sends.
You want him to manage for the day. That's the way he's managing for the day. He says, guess what? I'm not going to trust Marsh because he can't hit left-handers. But you want him to manage. You want it both ways. He's telling you, okay, my team has a better chance to win if he doesn't face left-handers. That's why he does what he does. But now you're going to criticize him for not having Marsh against left-handers.
What I'm saying is if we're worried about the message it's sending to Cal Stevenson, then you should also be worried about the message it sends to your players that you don't trust them in certain situations.
Well, they haven't earned trust. Cal Stevenson's a left-hander against a right-handed pitcher.
He earned your trust.
No,
Cal Stevenson.
But it's different than having forcing a left-hander against a left-hander who can't hit lefties. At least he's a left-handed hitter who's going to face a right-handed pitcher.
You play to win the game. You play to win the damn game. You're in a National League race right now.
Herman Edwards. 610-632-0975. Back after this. Mike Missanelli Show, just to add fuel to the fire here as we play Metallica. There's a guy named David Samson who's out there. Now, this guy is kind of a nut job. He was once president of Miami Marlins, but he's had some really offensive things to say. It's got him in trouble when he's been a guest on the Dan Le Batard show. So today he was a guest on, we both know Mike Gill down at Atlantic City on his show at 97.3, and he had him on. And so this is a guy who, he understands the clubhouse dynamic, and he tries to explain why Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto were given the day off. Let's see what David Samson had to say here.
A spike day or a shoe day. An off day that's a shoe day means you're not getting in the game. You can leave your spikes in the clubhouse. You're not pinch hitting. You're not pinch running. You're not pitching if you're a pitcher. You are not available no matter what happens. A spike off day is when, hey, where are your spikes? Because if there's a situation in the late innings where you are the tying or go-ahead run, we're going to get you an at-bat, so be ready for that.
Okay, so I don't know. Did Bryce Harper have spikes on? I don't know. I didn't know if either of them had spikes on. But I'm guessing that it was a shoe day for both of them because Thompson has never played them when he's given them a day off. He gives them a day off and he says, you are not playing. Doesn't matter what the game situation is. This is an off day. We are giving you off your feet for 2 days because we got Atlanta coming up. And he made it clear that that's why they weren't going to pinch hit and not get in the game yesterday.
If Garrett Stubbs takes a foul ball off the throat, JT Realmuto's coming in, isn't he?
Why do you always add circumstances?
Isn't he?
It's not the circle. You're making up details that aren't in the game.
You have to be prepared to play.
Garrett Stubbs didn't get hit in the throat with a foul ball, so we don't have a discussion.
But if you're on the bench, you have to be prepared to play.
You just heard what the guy said. Shoe day or a spike day.
If Alec
president of a major league team.
If Alec Boehm, Garrett Stubbs gets hurt, Harper or Realmuto is coming into that game. So in that moment, in the ninth inning, when you're down 2 with a runner on first, you give your team the best chance to win because you're in a National League race right now. It's not a guarantee you're going to get a first-round bye. So every single win should matter. I'm not worried about the Braves series.
This is a bad argument, Counselor, and I can tear you apart on cross.
Let me hear it.
Well, the argument is you just added a circle. If they got hurt, they would be in the game. They did not get hurt. They did not get hurt. Obviously, if somebody gets hurt, obviously it forces your hand. But that wasn't the circumstance. The circumstance was I'm giving those guys a day off, maybe unless they get hurt, and they didn't get hurt. You can't just add something into the equation.
So you were okay with them essentially waving the white flag in the ninth inning?
It wasn't. They didn't wave a white flag. They gave another guy a chance.
Cal Stevenson, who you've been calling Peterson all day because you don't even know who the guy is.
But again, what's the point of having Cal Peterson on the roster then? What are you going to pitch? He's on the roster. You have respect for everybody that's in that clubhouse. Other obscure guys have come up big for you in the past because you need all these guys to fill out a roster. Certain guys get dinged up. You bring a guy up from the minor leagues. The whole bit. You've seen it with Cody Clemens. So he gives the kid a chance against the Marlins in a 4th game of a series where you already won 3 games. Is that a cardinal sin?
I just don't think that having Bryce Harper come up to the plate to swing
He's got shoes on.
Bat,
you can't have him going to Paris Black with shoes on.
We're acting like we were asking Bryce Harper to do something.
Guaranteed he had shoes on.
Come on. Although, to support your argument, my high school football coach just texted. You sound like a football meathead. Baseball's different.
Told you. This is what I've been saying all along. People do not appreciate the little nuances of baseball. Rob Thompson has been in the game for forever. He understands those little nuances. Let's go to Ish.
Still don't agree with it.
Ish, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Ish?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's going on?
Yeah, I wanted to speak on Robert Gary about his decision. His decision on
to give the guy the day off, not pinch hit.
Yeah. I think Robert Gary made the right decision about sitting Bryce Harper, especially.
Right. Is Gary his middle name?
Who?
He's saying Robert Gary. You're saying Rob Thompson? Is that his middle name?
Oh,
Is that
Rob Thompson. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, Rob Thompson. I'm sorry about that.
This is what. Why? I don't know. I can't figure you out. But go ahead with the rest of your argument.
But yeah, I don't think it makes a big difference or anything about if he sat him or not. It's a day off, and like you said, it's 162 games. So I don't, it's 162 games in the season. So sitting Bryce Harper or pitching him, we took 3 out of 1 from him. So I think he makes the right decisions.
What made you say Robert Gary?
I seriously thought that was the name. I didn't know.
See, again, is Ish a troll or not? This is Ish is now called like 3 times already since I've been back.
And all 3 were pretty ridiculous opinions.
Well, but then the back half of his opinion was sensible. So he's got me totally confused whether he's trying to troll, because he didn't say something outlandish. He actually supported Rob Thompson, and he had a rational reason for supporting Rob Thompson, but he called him Robert Gary. I'm thinking that he was trying to do like his full name is Robert Gary Thompson. That's what I thought. But he confused. Is he a troll or not?
I don't know.
I think we need to put Ish on ice for a little while.
That did sound like an honest mistake. The calls he gave us last
Gary
week
sounded like an honest mistake to you. That's not even close to Rob Thompson.
His response to, I thought it was his name. He sounded like he was telling the truth.
Robert Lewis, by the way. That's the first and middle name. Yeah, Robert Louis Thompson.
Okay.
I'm just not understanding this whole thing.
You are working your brain much too hard over this.
I just can't get over.
It's what he does.
I understand it's a 162-game season. I understand this is not football. The argument that I think this is football is not accurate. What I'm saying is when you have an opportunity to try to win a baseball game that does in fact matter when you look at the standings, why you would keep your best bats on the bench and go with a guy who's batting 200 in Cal Stevens.
The best thing you can do for players is to be completely honest with them. And that's what he does. That's why they trust him. You're not playing today because I think it's beneficial for you not to play in this game. We've already won 3 games out of the 4. The risk reward of it that doesn't compute to me. You're not playing in this game. Now, that's about as honest as you can be as a manager. Don't you think players appreciate honesty from their manager?
And you don't think Bryce Harper sitting on the bench for 8 innings provided him enough rest that if he had to come up and swing the bat for 1 at bat, it's over. We've ruined it. Bryce Harper, oh my God.
No,
you're never going to be ready for October.
You take it too far.
It's ridiculous.
You take it too far. It's a simple thing that Rob Thompson did, okay? A, he trusted one of his players on his bench who maybe he needs for the next couple weeks just to get you through a couple weeks to come up big. You think that guy was rewarded by that? You think he felt good about getting in that situation? Of course he did. You're trying to keep every one of your 25 players mentally prepared to contribute to winning a baseball game. So that was A. But the bigger reason is he told them, you're off for 2 days. You know why? Because you guys are very important to me, and I don't want you grinding it out. We got a big series in Atlanta. We got an off day Monday. It's beneficial to the rest of the team for you not to play this game. And you have a problem with that.
I do have a problem with it. Let me ask you, you think Harper wanted to hit or no?
I think that Harper enjoys a day off. I think he enjoys a day off.
I
think Bryce Harper, now at this point of the season, in the middle of August, appreciated having that Sunday off.
If Bryce Harper didn't want to come to the plate in the 9th inning, I will question everything I thought about Bryce Harper.
Of course he would have come up to the plate, but that's not really the point. You prepare guys for certain situations. You have now made him say, I got a mental and physical day off. And you can't change that because then you're changing your whole existence as a manager. They know you as a certain type of manager, a man of your word, a man who's honest with players. You're not playing this day. You're not playing. I'll trust Cal. And if Cal Peterson doesn't come, Stevenson doesn't come through, then he doesn't come through. It's that. That's that.
It's 1 at bat.
Let's go to Richie in South Philly. Richie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Richie.
Oh, I'm glad you're back, Mike. This is Richie. We're supposed to have lunch in Beverly Hills.
What's up, Richie? How you doing?
Yeah, remember, and your plane was disconnected.
Yes, absolutely.
I was so glad you came back because to the other guys, Mr. Missanelli is a man of intelligence and erudition, and he makes sense. I agree with you 100%. Thank God.
Did you say erudition?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's the first time we've ever heard that word on these airwaves.
I went to St. Joe's, the Jesuits.
That means you're saying I'm erudite?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
To the other guys, Colorado and stuff. But what Mike is saying is true. It's not a question. Of course, there would have been a better, chance of Harper getting a hit. But he's trying to tell you he made a comment, he made a statement, and to stand by the statement takes precedence over the other things. So you're mixing apples and oranges, Mr. Colorado. You follow me?
Yeah, he's a football meathead.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, football meathead.
Baseball's a more cerebral game, as we know.
His high school coach just texted him that.
Oh, okay. But
you're not. What did he say? What did your high school coach just say to you?
And he's wrong as well.
Hey, what did he say? What was the text?
Timmy Mack is wrong. He said, you sound like a football meathead. Baseball is different.
There you go. Baseball is different.
He also just texted me, battles and wars, Billy.
There you go.
Okay,
but you're wrong, Tim.
You have to win wars, not battles.
Before I go, Mike, one last comment, please. I'm really glad you're back. I mean, I think you're one of the best sports people around. You don't bring any agendas. You speak with the truth, and you're very intelligent. It's a pleasure hearing you. I'm glad you're back, and I'm to listen to your show every day.
Thank you, Richie. I appreciate that. All right, so he pulls Cal Peterson in that situation, right? And Cal slinks back there, dugout. Comes Bryce Harper. I know he's better than me, but man, I would have loved to have the opportunity. And Cal, by the way, you're starting. We need you to start left field in 4 days.
That shouldn't even be part of the equation.
No, really?
Come on.
Oh, I stink. I feel like I stink.
He does stink. Mike, he does stink.
You can't let him know that he stinks.
Oh, my God.
You can't let him know that he stinks. As long as he's on your roster, you want to keep the guy's spirits up because he could help you with a double in a clutch situation.
I can't get behind that part of your argument. I can understand the people who are saying it's a rest day. He was told it was a rest day. I don't agree with it, but I can understand where you're coming from.
Absolutely no feeling.
I do not have
for Cal Stevenson. No feeling at all.
He won't be here in a week. As soon as Austin Hayes is ready to come back, Cal Stevenson, you'll never see him again. And by the way, I kept wondering why you're going Cal Peterson. He used to be a Flyers goalie. That's why you're a big Fly guy.
That's correct.
That's Cal Peterson. I'm like, I know Cal Peterson. Yeah, he was a goalie for the Flyers.
Also the name of the guy in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Wait, which who?
Peterson? What was Peterson? Was he the principal? Remember he called him from, this is Abe Froman, the Sausage King.
Yes. Wait, that's the principal's name?
Mr. Peterson, I think it was Peterson. If Peterson figures in that movie somewhere.
Right, you ever seen Ferris Bueller?
Yes, I've seen Ferris Bueller.
You have seen Ferris Bueller?
I have seen Ferris Bueller. Oh, great movie.
My God.
Sloan Peterson is the
That's right. That's right. Sloan.
Girlfriend.
Mr. Peterson got on the phone. It was Abe Froman, Sausage King. Dom on his cell. Dom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dom.
Mike, how are you?
What's up, Dom?
So the more I think about this, I kind of agree with you with letting Bryce not hit only for this type of game. If he was playing, if Cal Stevenson was up in that moment against the Dodgers or the Braves or a contender, a guy you might see in the playoffs, you get his ass on the bench, you bring Bryce Harper up because that's the guy I want those teams to see in that moment. So for this particular moment, I'm all right with Stevenson, but if it was any other contending team, you got to bring your big boys up there.
Yeah, if it was a game this is still in August, right? It's still an August game. You need these guys for your stretch run. You need these guys to be healthy. Right? You need them to have a mental refresher every now and then. This is a game you do it. When you've won 3 games in the first 3, the 4th game, I can afford to do this here. And the long-term benefit is going to benefit the team in the long term.
And to Bill's point, Cal Stevenson is not going to snip this roster the remaining part of the year, may not even snip it next year. So as far as these guys getting used to those at bats, I honestly don't really care about that. I mean, if they were any good, they'd be up in the major leagues all the time with some other team. They wouldn't be stuck in the minors all the time. So I don't really care about giving Cal Stevenson a mental boost
to his ego, thinking, "Oh, maybe I can come through in this."
Okay, well, then you don't care about being Rob Thompson because Rob Thompson cares about that. That's my point. My point is that Rob Thompson manages a certain way, and whether you agree with it or not, that's the way it's going to be done. He has respect for players that are in that clubhouse who he thinks can help him, and he's not going to bail out on anybody. He didn't even bail out on Rojas, for crying out loud. He hit like a little leaguer in the playoffs.
Rojas is going to be a part of the team for years, though. Cal Stevens.
This was the playoffs. He wouldn't bail out on Rojas. When it was obvious he was overmatched, he still didn't bail out on the guy. He respects the players that wear the Philly uniform.
I think he respects the players he knows going to be up here. Cal Stevens is not going to be up here.
All right. Neither was David Dahl. He had to give him some at-bats to get through the long haul. Cody Clemens, same thing. He had to give him some at-bats to get through the long haul. That's what you're missing.
On the long haul, sure. That's why I agree with you just in this
particular
instance.
All right, well, at least
not against any contender team.
Okay. All right. So against the Braves, he wasn't going to do that. But he's not going to sit Bryce Harper against the Braves. Bryce Harper is only going to sit on a Sunday against the Washington Nationals when you've already won 3 games. If the Phillies needed a win on Sunday, if Washington had somehow won the first 2 games of that series, you think Bryce Harper would have been rested? You pick your spots when you rest guys.
And that's fine. And he rested for 8 innings. And he rested all day today. But you could have come up to the plate for 1 at-bat to give yourselves the best chance to win the damn game.
God, this argument is going to go on forever.
It's just, I will never agree.
I don't want to hear when the Phillies are raising the National League trophy. I don't want to see you celebrating. All right, because you're an anti-Rob.
I can't.
You're an anti-Rob.
I am a very pro-Rob Thompson.
You're an anti-Rob.
I think he's a very good manager, but it doesn't mean that I will blindly agree with every decision he makes. And I think yesterday was a bad decision. That's where I am. I still think Rob Thompson's the guy for the job.
I ride with Philly Rob.
I think Mike Missanelli, maybe Mike Thompson. You're going to call me Sirianni. You blindly follow Rob.
I understand the guy.
So, to be clear here, you're saying that he might be as on board with Thompson as you are on Sirianni. He is as on board with Thompson because they lost by 2 runs to the Nationals on a Sunday in August and they didn't pinch hit someone. And you are blindly supporting the head coach of a team that lost 7 of 8 to close the football season.
Oh, Ray.
Once again,
apples
good point,
to oranges on this one.
Good point, Ray. Keep go ahead.
Once again, because I've seen people come at me on Twitter for this as well today. I don't blindly trust Nick Sirianni. My argument all along was he deserved to come back in spite of the collapse because there's been a lot more good than bad.
Much good.
And you shouldn't knee-jerk and fire a coach that's been to the playoffs 3 straight years. If he doesn't have a good year this year, I will be the first one lining up saying that they should fire Nick Sirianni. But last year wasn't the time to do it.
Losing 7 of 8 is knee-jerk?
Yes.
Losing 7 of 8 is not knee-jerk. Losing 7 of 8 is incompetence.
No. Listen.
Not knee-jerk.
When you look at the total picture, objectively, of what happened with Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles last year, Sirianni did not deserve to be fired. Didn't do a good enough job. I agree with you. But when you figure in all of the factors at play, the Super Bowl hangover, 2 new coordinators, incompetent coordinators on both sides of the football, you are asking him to do something that's never been done.
Hey, this is why Thompson is the opposite of Sirianni. Sirianni did knee-jerk. Sirianni introduced panic in his locker room by changing coordinators in the middle of the season, which nobody in their right mind would ever do.
Bad decision.
You would fix the problem rather than knee-jerk and introduce panic in your locker room. Rob Thompson's just the opposite. He's the anti-panic guy. He said, I'm not going to panic here. I'm going to trust one of my guys on my roster right now to come up with a big hit while I'm resting my 2 guys for Atlanta.
And it didn't work.
6. It was. I'm telling you, it's a major crime. They lost 1 game of a 4-game series.
It's just
that team.
You just can't agree with that decision. I will never agree with waving the white flag and accepting a loss.
Because you're a fan with a big bag of Doritos and a beer.
Never would eat Doritos.
Mike Missanelli Show continues. 1 at 1 coming up. Hour was brought to us by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months, $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system. Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. And speaking of HVAC, a 1 o'clock hour brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Line Conklin. If you're an HVAC contractor, if you need equipment, parts, or supplies for every heating and cooling job, visit one of First's counter locations. They're in Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. It's the 1 o'clock hour on the Mike Missanelli Show, and it is time for 1 at 1, which is a concept that'll probably run out soon. But these are topics that I didn't have a chance to comment on in the last 2 years and 3 months that I was not on the radio. I commented on my podcast, but not on the radio. So we're bringing back one at a time. I don't know what these are. I mean, Ray Dunn just kind of unveils them. So this is like a fresh reaction piece on some topic. What is today's, Ray?
All right. For today, we're going Trey Turner's standing ovation.
This is going to make me a bad guy. It really is. I don't like stuff like that. I do not like forced stuff. That's the idea of a sports talk host who rallies the troops to applaud for somebody. I don't understand it. Now, did it help him? I don't know. Who knows? It was a good story for a while. Oh my God, like a Philly fan, like it overcomes the narrative that we're lousy people, we're creeps, that we would do something like that. But that's not my bag. Bill, was that your bag? I would have never in a million years done it. Now, the kid who did it was a young kid. So I don't know. They see the world differently than me.
I'm with you on this one.
Really?
Yeah, you and I don't agree on much, but I am with you on this one. I thought it was kind of ridiculous. And I think it's more of a coincidence that he got out of his slump. I don't think it had anything to do with the standing O, but
in a way, the reason why, like, I would think that would embarrass somebody more than help. Now, I can't argue with the results because everybody's going to tie that into that moment and how it lifted his spirits. But, like, an accomplished player like Trey Turner, getting a lift like that is like, well, I must be like a schmo that they have to do this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the pride factor gets in there.
See, now here's where you lose me. Because Trey Turner would feel like a schmo getting a standing O, but Cal Stevenson getting put on the bench for Bryce Harper would lose all confidence.
No, it's the same principle. It's really the same principle when you think about it. You get embarrassed that you're playing so poorly that the crowd has to give you a standing ovation. All that does is highlight the fact that you're struggling, I think. I don't know. Does it make you concentrate more on getting a hit? And the Cal Stevenson thing is, man, I must stink if he pinch hit for me in this situation, even though it's Bryce Harper. So, like, I have a fledgling Major League career. Already I'm insecure about my abilities to play Major League Baseball. All that does is illustrate it. If you get pinch hit for, then you don't believe at all in yourself.
Well, you could make the same argument when they sent Johan Rojas down after he started here. And look, he's played pretty well since he's been brought back up. So,
what's your point with sending this guy down? What's the argument?
Well, you're saying pinch hitting with one of the best baseball players in all of Major League Baseball is going to destroy Cal Stevenson's
I didn't say it was going to destroy. I'm saying that baseball players, especially a guy like that guy, have fragile insecurities about their ability to play the game. And all that does, a manager that does that is illustrating that to the guy if he pinch hits for him.
Are you related to Rob Thompson?
See, this is where you go.
Now you're trying to turn this into what the station has done to you with Seriani. You can't spin this one on a game in August where they lose by 2 runs.
I am thinking that the more people hear this argument, more people are coming to my side of the argument.
Oh, not YouTube. No way.
Oh, no? What are they saying on YouTube?
I'd have to.
What are the numbskulls on YouTube saying?
There's so many comments, so I can't even.
Go over a couple of them.
I can't because they're all.
What?
Let me see if I can find.
Read a comment.
They're commenting like crazy, so I'm trying to find ones that would be applicable here.
While he searches, I can help you on the text line.
What's the text line?
What do we got on the text?
The text line is still humming on this issue, right?
Yeah. AJ from Coatesville checking in. Topper is a player's dream as a coach. Just like a 9 to 5, you want to have a boss who doesn't micromanage and lets you do the job you get paid to do. If you're a good communicator in a position of leadership, that goes such a long way. You could tell the players respect his leadership and laid-back personality. Let's not forget how this town initially felt about Charlie and the daily double switch issues everyone would constantly fuss about. Topper is from a similar mold as Charlie. He's going to have his guys' backs, and he's going to be emotionally consistent. Baseball is such a mental sport, and the less negative day-to-day emotion you have as a manager, the team, the better. It's up to the guys on the field to do their job, and as a manager, you need to stay out of their heads and help mitigate the loss of confidence.
I did a good job writing that, didn't I?
Yeah, it was really good by you.
I saw Mike
appreciate you
texting.
checking in on that one.
I saw Mike texting at the break.
This is now. All right, go ahead, Ray. Give me another one.
Another one. Nameless text here. There is absolutely no excuse to not pinch hit for Cal Stevenson. You need to win every game you can, especially against a slop team like Washington.
See, it's unrealistic that you're going to win every game you can. It's just not going to happen.
Well, you get yourself a chance.
Lose some games, and so this is to me the risk reward Rob Thompson went through in his head is worth it.
What was the risk, Mike?
The risk was
what was the risk?
The risk was you told a guy that he was not playing. He was going to get a refresher. It was a shoe day for the guy. We still haven't verified that he wasn't wearing the spikes. But when you tell a guy that, he appreciates you being honest with him that for the greater good, I'm sitting out this game. And you don't force him back into a game. It's the playoff situation. It's different with Rojas pitching for Johan Rojas is not the same thing as this particular situation.
So one of the YouTube comments, Mike acting like the Phils aren't close to playing in the wild card. The whole bigger picture thing can have an opposite effect on a team, making them become
if you think
complacent.
They're going to play in a wild card. You're one of these Philadelphia fans that thinks the sky is falling when any little thing happens.
Wait. You ever feel like nothing good was ever going to happen to you?
I'm not overreacting here, but you can't deny that they are close to being a wild card team right now.
I don't believe they are close to being a wild card.
They're going to win the NL East.
Because I believe they're a good team that has righted the ship, and they're going to go back to being one of the best teams in the league.
Okay, and you may be correct, but they're only a half game up on the Dodgers and a game up on the Brewers, who are playing really good baseball right now.
You know why they're one of the best teams in the league? Because this guy manages it that way. Let's go to Joshua in South Philly. Joshua, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Josh.
Hey, Mike. Welcome back.
Up, Josh? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's glad to have your voice back on the airwaves. You bring a side other to sports sometimes, so that's good. But I have a couple comments. I think one thing I was thinking about was you're back on the station. Now, the station manager of that station could put you back with, I'm a nostalgic guy, and he can put you back with Tyrone and all that, but he's got you in the 10-2 slot. I trust the guy. He knows his people, so that's where you're at. That's my one thing. I'm on your side with the thing. And then I think I was also going to say Ish is a troll. He was a troll back with Ingy when you were with Mark.
I would love to meet this Ish. I can figure it out whether he's a troll or not, or whether he's just kind of like
you were messing up on Cal's name, so he was messing up on Rob Thompson's name to be a jerk.
Oh, okay. I got you. I hear you. All right. Well, I'm glad you settled that, Joshua.
You got it.
Thanks.
So Josh has the same level of trust in Scott that the Phillies have in Rob Thompson. Pairing you and me together. Great job by Scott.
Listen, man, I just show up and work. You know what I'm saying? I haven't delved into the Scott Masteller rationale.
The comparisons.
Yeah. You know? All right. This is a really humming topic here. Greg in Bethlehem joins us. Greg, go ahead.
Hey,
Greg,
guys.
how you doing? Good, man. How you doing?
Good. I mean, I can't claim to be on the inside of the room for the Phillies, but I think Rob Thompson seems to have, I don't know, he's like a Svengali. You know, he seems to pull the right triggers. He seems to have the pulse of the team, and I have to support what he decides as far as the pinch hitting.
Yeah, I think it's really simple. I really do. This guy manages with the greater good in mind. And he's honest with his guys, and he's stubborn, maybe to a fault, but not stubborn for a veteran-laden team because he knows the more pieces he moves, the more rancor he's going to incur with veteran players. He's been around veteran players his entire career. He knows why they get upset, why they get emotional, why they get down. He knows all that stuff, and he's got all that in mind when he makes decisions. Now, at the end of the day, if they don't get to the World Series, he's going to have to answer for it, just like anybody else would have to answer for it. But I admire the way the guy stoically says, this is what I do because I believe that my system, what I do, is greater for the long haul on a 162-game baseball season.
Well, you got to give him credit. He doesn't panic, for each individual situation. He looks at the long term and makes decisions accordingly.
Correct. It's a long season.
I think I am with you on Rob Thompson, on his patience, on him trusting his players, on all of that. It's just in this situation, I think you are blindly trusting that every move he makes is always the right one. And this one wasn't the right move.
I'm saying to him it's the right move. So not to me or to you or to anybody else who is just watching that game and coming up with the obvious, well, Bryce Harper has to pinch hit here. I'm saying for him, his methodology is going to pay off more times than not. That's why I trust it. Even though I'd be an idiot not to say that Bryce Harper in that situation wouldn't be a better situation than Cal Stevenson. But I'm also giving Rob Thompson the benefit of the doubt that he doing it his way, and he trusts his way so much that I don't have anything to say about it. I don't, unless his methodology somehow fails them in the end, which I don't know how it would. But I've got to trust the guy that he knows better than I do.
I just don't like giving away a game. And when you talk about risk-reward, having Bryce Harper come off the bench to swing a bat, there's no risk there. I shouldn't say no risk, but the risk of him getting hurt because of an at-bat, to me, the reward is higher than the risk by far in this situation.
To the second level, Mr. Football. 610-632-0975. Back after this. text to my personal Twitter handle, which is MikeMiss25. And this is from And I Am Iron Man. I love these people with these Twitter handles. Let me just see what this guy's all about. And I Am Iron Man. Sometimes, this is his profile. Sometimes I go by Jimmy Joe Meeker, oil tycoon, lover of Marvel and Star Wars, Phillies season ticket holder with a heart. Killers are number one. So right away, we're not going to get along because I hate the Killers. Visited Abbey Road 2024. He's a Delco guy. And I Am Iron Man. So, and I Am Iron Man says this to me. So if Bohm twisted an ankle in the 7th, Harper isn't coming in because he's already been promised a day off, get out of here. You can have the day off, but you still got to be ready because you're on the freaking roster. Not pinch hitting Harp also says winning isn't important. Well, Harper maybe isn't coming in the game if Bohm twists an ankle because they still have Weston Wilson, don't they?
Yeah, they still had Wilson on the bench. I think Rojas was still on the bench at that point.
Well, but see, here's the point. You can't, like, that wasn't the case. So if Bohm did twist an ankle, then maybe Harper does have to put the spikes on and play. Everything is fluid during a game. That didn't happen. So at that point, Rob Thompson says, no, I'm going to let that kid go, maybe get a big hit for us. And I'm not going to stress these other guys that I told that have the day off. All right, we're going to get back to the phones on this in a second. But I got to mention the Sixers because they got Yabusele, Gershon Yabusele.
The dancing bear.
Yeah, the only reason we know him is because we watched the Olympics, and he played pretty well for France, and he put LeBron James on a poster. Now, I remember him with the Boston Celtics. They played him very marginally. But he was on their roster for a couple of years, and I remember seeing him. Guy's not bad. He played with the Celtics a little bit. So they signed him, and I think it was a really good signing because they need a 4. They don't really have a 4 on the roster. In fact, I would even start Yabusele.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Now, the way they pronounced it in Boston, I remember, was Yabusele, which I like a little better than Yabusele. But
Yabusele is a nice...
Yeah, but Yabusele works for me if that's how you pronounce his name. I would play him at a 4 on a starting team a la P.J. Tucker. You always need a guy that does dirty work, who does not going to be involved in the offense. You already got your big 3. You don't need another guy involved in the offense. So I would either play him as a starter, just like they played Mark Ivoroni back in the day, like a throwaway position who only can concentrate on doing one thing, which is to get a rebound every now and then, maybe get an offensive rebound, maybe make a 3, because he did make some 3s in the Olympics. So I would start him along with Embiid and then George Maxey Oubre. Or Caleb Martin instead of Oubre and bring Oubre off the bench. Now, the Sixers are chock full of players right now. At one point, they weren't. Here's their bench now. If you start Oubre instead of Caleb Martin or Yabusele instead of Caleb Martin, it's Lowry, Caleb Martin, Drummond, Eric Gordon, and then you got the rookie McCain, and then you signed Reggie Jackson and K.J. Martin. And then there's Ricky Council. That's 14 players. Now, but with Bona, it's 14 players. So... and there's McCain there. So who would you would have to play some guys with the Delaware Blue Coats. Who would play? Would they have the rookie McCain play with the Blue Coats for a little while so we can get some playing time?
It's not a bad idea because I don't expect McCain to contribute that much as a rookie.
Or Ricky Council the 4th again with the G League. You're going to have 2 guys that aren't involved. They've got a lot of veterans that they have to have on the roster.
It's going to be interesting, but I'm not with you on Yabusele in the starting lineup.
You wouldn't.
I'd rather him on the bench.
But then you're small.
You're small, but...
I don't like the small.
You're small, but I like what Caleb Martin brings. I think he plays bigger than he is. We've seen him perform well, especially against the Celtics.
I don't know, man. You got a team of all 3s and Embiid.
Yeah, but if you go with your route, if you have Oubre coming off the bench, who's really your guards? Maxey and who?
George.
So you're going to play him more as a guard, not as a wing.
He can play guard, obviously. He's that,
Yeah. I loved the idea of Embiid, George, Martin, Oubre, Maxey.
And like a small lineup.
And I like Yabusele. By the way, Yabusele, you talk about bringing an element of toughness. This guy, there's some highlights of him throwing down on the court. He doesn't take any.
Yeah, he's a big bear.
Crap.
He's a dancing bear, right? His nickname.
Tough.
It's a good move.
Tough
by them.
dude.
Now, some people could overreact to a couple games in the Olympics. It's interesting that they got him for a really cheap price. Everybody saw the same Olympics. Let's go to Al on the cell. Al, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Al? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm glad to hear you back in the air. I enjoy your podcast and everything. I kind of disagree with you a little bit, and don't beat me up on this. But
it's fine to disagree. You're taking the normal side. I realize that my side is the more obtuse side.
Okay, let me explain something real quick.
I got it.
I'm not a load management guy. I'm not on to these analytics that measure every move you make. I'm not into any of that.
Because you're an old school guy, right? You're an old school.
Guy. I'm 70. Yeah, I'm old school.
How old are you?
I'll be 3/4. I'll be 3/4.
You'll be 75 soon.
Yeah,
I can see. I can see that you would have an old school attitude about baseball.
Yeah. I mean,
you want pitchers to pitch 9 innings, right? Right? You don't like taking pitchers out of the game. I know. You think there's palming in basketball? Am I right?
You're beautiful. You're right on the money, bro. Right on the money.
Man, you read this guy in a minute.
Of course I did. You're an old school guy.
I'm an old school guy. Yeah, I'm an old school guy.
I got it.
You know?
You want guys in the NBA dribble like Bob Cousy, right? With the hand on top of the ball. Bah, 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 bah.
Go down the court, make the shot. Exactly.
All right, Al. So you're saying to me that Bryce Harper should not have a day off?
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
I'm saying is that the situation which they're in, you have your cheerleader catcher batting, which is a cheerleader catcher. I mean, it's substitutes as a cheerleader, and you have your rookie, and I want the W. So I got a shot. Sosa gets the hit, right? We got man on first base. Mm-hmm. Now, Stevenson did hit the ball hard.
He did hit it hard. Second baseman made a good play.
I mean, I think, he gets a plus for that. Because we have Marsh and, Son, even though they went back-to-back, they're still trying to figure it out. But that's another story. I really feel, if you got a shot for that win, and you're going down, we're headed down to Atlanta and Kansas City, which are not no chopped liver. I mean, they're both. Atlanta's hurt, but Kansas City's is the real deal. I've been following that team all year long.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's
they're pretty good.
That's Mike Arbuckle. That's going way back. That's Mike Arbuckle.
Oh my God, you go back to Mike Arbuckle. Come on, brother. He was way old school.
Yeah, you read it right.
That guy was way old school. You ever talk to old guys about basketball? I don't understand this game the way it is now.
There's too much traveling.
They travel, they palm. Come on, man. Just shift your thinking a little bit. And I don't like the celebrations. When it, you should the touchdown. You should act like you've been there. There's like a list of stuff that old dudes do. 610-632-0975. We're back after this. Fanatic FanFest is coming up. There's a ticket raid. Ticket raiders are always popular. You can get your tickets online, and there's no online ticket raid scheduled for this Friday, August 23rd at 8 a.m. on our website, 975thefanatic.com. It's the biggest party of the year for Philly sports fans. All the Fanatic hosts will be there, celebrity guests, Philly sports legends, activities, games, and prizes. And I'm guessing that we may have a pair of tickets to give away when we do our General Knowledge Wednesday, which is effectively the audience versus the young kid, Ray Dunn. But there also will be a Fanatic FanFest ticket raid at Xfinity Live on Saturday, September 28th. So there you go. No. That's when FanFest is.
That's when FanFest is.
That's my fault. I read it wrong.
I've never been to FanFest.
It's quite an experience. Now I haven't been there for a couple of years, so I don't know what the current nature of it is.
A lot of fun.
We'll see.
Big fan.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. Let's get Tony in Florida in here. What's up, Tone?
Mikey Miss, welcome back.
Thank you, Tone.
Hey, I like your partner. You guys make a good team. Seems like a smart guy.
I'm trying to school him.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate
trying to school
you,
him
man.
on some issues of baseball.
Yeah, he does. You can tell he's not a baseball player.
Yeah, he's a baseball guy, but he's a baseball guy. He's like a bag of Doritos baseball guy.
Right. He's a weekend softball player. You think you could just show up, put a donut on the back?
Exactly.
Yeah, God forbid.
Baseball's not hard.
God forbid we ask Bryce Harper to do one at bat.
I know.
Ruin his season.
Billy, let me tell you how it goes. When you get ready for a baseball game, you show up 4 hours before the game, right? You do a little scouting on the pitcher you're going to see or the pitchers you may see. You go through mental prep, right? You go through some fielding. You're taking 200 or 300 bats in the cage. You're not just coming off the bench, if you, right? And hitting major league pitching, even if you are Bryce Harper.
Well, listen, there have been pinch hitters in the game, so they have to go through the same thing. I
agree with you.
I don't think it would be overly crazy to subject Bryce Harper to a pinch hitting appearance. I don't think
the difference is pitch hitting's different, Mike. If he's scheduled,
no. It wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal for Bryce Harper to get up there and pinch hit. All I'm saying is.
Disagree.
Well, no, it's not a big deal for anybody to go up and pinch hit. I mean, you're taking some swag. If you're going to pinch hit, you're prepared to pinch hit by taking hacks in the cage during the game. But he told them that they're not going to play. So they would not be mentally prepared for that kind of an at-bat.
Exactly, which means you probably stayed up late the night before, maybe had a few pops. Instead of showing up 4 hours before the game, you probably showed up an hour before the game.
Yeah, he probably didn't. He probably did all his prep work. But I hear it's not as extensive as our last caller is trying to make it. It's just the mindset of the manager that I am focusing on here. Vineet in Melbourne. Oh, my good friend Vineet. Hello, Vineet.
Mikey, how you been, brother?
Good to hear from you, brother.
It's been a while. It's been a minute, and welcome back, dude.
Thank you very much.
Missed you tremendously. I've not heard talk show radio in like maybe 2 years, man, because I just missed your voice, and the cerebral stimulation you provide and topical entertainment is bar none. Like you're the gold standard, Mike.
Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate it.
And hey, I missed you at that Diwali party my dentist friend was having. Your girlfriend was there a couple of years ago.
Oh, yes. I do remember that.
You.
Yeah.
It's good for you, but hopefully one of these days.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hey, I was at this game that you guys are talking about, and I took my nephew. He's saying the team. He's from India. He's a big cricket fan, but he's gone into baseball. It was his first game in person, so it was a bummer that both Bryce and JT weren't playing. But I completely, I'm with you. I kind of support their decision, and I know exactly how things go sometimes when trying to plan for the long case.
It's funny about that. If you got a Sunday package, they might as well call it the no JT package. Because he's never going to play on Sunday, right?
That is true. That is true. And, so unfortunately we didn't get to see him. But I think I was okay with it. But the only thing was like, your partner was saying, it was a weak team. It was a win to be had, and we could have probably done a little bit better. Maybe Wilson could have come. I was looking at Wilson's stats. He's had 9 hits and 16 at bats in August. He's batting more than 500. I don't know why he couldn't have come in. But then better. Like with Cal trying to manage his mental state.
Yeah, but it's also lefty righty. They brought Finnegan in as a hard throwing right hander, and Thompson is just one of those guys who's more comfortable with lefty against righty. He just is. I mean, that's like he's not going to change his stripes, and his stripes have been good enough to win a lot of games.
That is true. I do trust Rob, and like you said, he's been in the game for more than 25, 30 years. So, this team will go the way he goes. So, hopefully, we are in for a good ride in the next couple of months. I'm looking forward to hearing more from you, Mike. So,
thank you, Vineet. I think it's going to be a pretty good fall for your fighting Phils. I am not down on them. Even when they were slumping, when I first came on the air, I said, they'll get it back. They're going to be a 1 or 2. They're too good not to be a 1 or 2. Sometimes we give too much credit to the teams that are chasing them. Like, would you rather have the Milwaukee Brewers or the Phillies? Who would you rather be?
The Phillies.
You had to ride a team.
I'd rather be the Phillies.
Okay, well then what are you worried about? Everything is beautiful.
Because the fact that the Brewers are only a game back, and we don't know what their schedule looks like compared to the Phillies. Anything can happen.
They lost their best player.
It hasn't affected them.
Well, because they just lost them.
When did they go out? How many games ago?
He's just announced that he was out for the season like 3 days ago, isn't it?
They keep
like
winning.
last week or whatever it was. Yeah, when it's hard to overcome a guy like losing Yelich. It's like the Phillies losing to Harper.
Well, yesterday they lost Harper because Topper made the decision not to play.
Oh, my God, this guy.
Here we go. Okay,
this guy is just relentless.
I got a new nickname on YouTube, by the way.
What is it?
They're calling me Baseball Bill. That's what they're saying in the chat because they agree with me. Baseball Bill.
Listen, the majority of people are going to agree with you. That doesn't mean the majority of people are correct when it comes to Rob Thompson. That's not. See, you're not. People are making the mistake of judging it by what their eyeballs see. And sometimes what their eyeballs see is not what the manager sees. The manager goes by a certain code, and he stays by that code. And that code serves him well because it doesn't leave any doubt or any like up and down thing. He's straight up. This is the way I manage. You guys get used to that, and you're more comfortable with knowing me than me being all over the place. And that's a benefit, I think.
I agree with you on that. I do agree that Rob Thompson's demeanor, mentality has served this team well over 3 seasons. When he took over for Girardi, they went on that tear because he preached patience. Last year, they come out to a slow start. Everyone was panicking, not Rob Thompson. So I agree with you in that respect. I just don't agree that yesterday you had a chance and you didn't give yourself the best opportunity.
It's like The Godfather when he turned it over to Michael. When the captains were all upset, and they go, and Don Corleone goes, "Do you have trust in me?" Yes, Godfather. Well, then have trust in Michael. That's what you're not doing. You're not having any trust in Rob.
Well, that's what Vic Fangio said, too. Have trust in Sean Desai. That didn't work out.
By the way, Newtown Little League.
Ray just shakes his head.
I don't know how you got there.
yeah, I don't know. Newtown Little League is alive in the World Series. They play at 3 o'clock today.
2 big wins this weekend.
They did. They snap after getting shut out by Texas, who had these big monster kids. The Newtown Little League is now 2-1 and alive in an elimination game at 3 o'clock. I'm going to set a line on this.
Is this a shoebox game?
I don't know who they. No. They're playing the loser of. Right, who are they playing? Can you get that? Who's Newtown Little League playing? They were playing. They were going to play the loser of an undefeated game. I think maybe Texas again. Let's get to Little League. Let's see. I set the line on this. We'll see who it is. I'm gonna make Newtown plus 120 on this game.
You don't even know who they're playing.
I know, but I'm gonna make them the underdog.
So
because they got to come from way on the bottom.
I'd have to see the pitcher
they have
for
to
the
come from the
opposing.
loser, bro. You have to see the pitcher. We got to see him warm up.
I wonder if it's a rest day for any of the guys.
They're playing Washington.
They're playing.
The team
No,
from
they
Washington.
beat Washington.
Team from Washington?
They beat
What
the
is the
team
deal
from.
with this?
Yeah, they beat the team from Washington for the second victory. They were then going to play the loser of an undefeated game. I've been following this stuff closely. I love watching this Little League stuff.
You're going to have to get right home after this.
I know.
You're close to the station.
Yeah, I'll get home. Don't worry.
No. So we talked.
Yeah, we don't have the complete Little League results here. But they were slated to play the loser. That game was yesterday. The loser of a certain game. That's who Newtown was going to play.
Yeah, their updated bracket has TBH or TBD. That really helps me.
They didn't update it.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Sure, so what are we doing
That's
here?
no respect
What are we doing here?
for Newtown Little League.
Yeah, I got nothing on this website.
Man.
What are we doing here?
Let's see if we can
I'm
dig it
trying
out.
to find it myself.
How many Sports Talk Radio
Live
people does it take
updates
to
from
find
Monday's game. Got it right here. Let's see. It's in USA Today. Let's see.
Are they playing tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow?
The games they have scheduled right now for today: Henderson, Nevada against Hawaii, and then Florida versus Texas. Those are the unbeaten games happening allegedly
okay.
today, according to ESPN.
They have to play the winner of Hawaii, and who's Hawaii playing?
Hawaii's playing Nevada.
All right, Hawaii's playing Nevada. They play the loser of that game, and that's not today. You're telling me?
Apparently not today. Those games are today, so I would imagine they play tomorrow.
All right, well then it must be the Wednesday. They must be playing the winner. They get a day off so they can, play ping pong or whatever they do in that village.
Wednesday would be Tuesday. They play the loser. Wednesday would be the winner.
What?
So if they win Tuesday, they play Wednesday. But they would play tomorrow. They play tomorrow at 3:00.
Oh, it's tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 3:00 they play.
Okay, today is Monday. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock they play the loser of Hawaii, who is supposed to be the favorite. And who are they play? Is Hawaii playing again?
Nevada.
All right, so that's tomorrow.
There you go. All right, well, I don't have to rush home then.
You don't have to rush home.
No.
And, Mike, real briefly, because we didn't talk about it much, it was just a walkthrough today for the Eagles. Training camp.
Okay, yeah, with the Bill report. We didn't get the Bill report.
We didn't get. Let's get this.
Let's get the Bill football report.
Yeah, Bill football. Even though I'm Bill baseball now too, I can wear both hats. So the best news, Mike, there's only 3 training camp practices left, 1 preseason game. We're almost there. But some of the big news that came out of this weekend, the defense had a really good practice from all reports. The Kobe Dean continues to impress.
Yeah, he's having a good camp. About time.
Well, yes.
He's a smart football player. He just, I don't know, it took him a while to get adjusted, I think, to that speed.
I hope you're right, because the upside for this defense is way up if Nakobe Dean turns out to be the guy you thought you were getting out of Georgia. If Nakobe Dean is actually going to be able to take what he's done in camp and that second preseason game to the regular season, and you put him next to Devin White, that defense could be pretty solid.
Well, it'll be a good rotation. 3-man rotation in that linebacker core.
Yep. So Dean looked good. Bryce Huff continues to
Huff
impress.
is still looking good.
So here's some news, though, from this weekend's training camp. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson returned on a limited basis. But Mekhi Becton and Landon Dickerson, both of your starting guards, had a limp off.
Yeah.
Dickerson came back. Mekhi Becton didn't, but reports are it's minor. Let's hope.
They have a lot of guys on an injury report, I saw.
A lot of guys on the injury report. The third wide receiver spot that's still up in the air.
And both Ross and Wilson.
And Nagata. None of them practiced.
Ross and Wilson, the concussion protocols, why they didn't practice?
Correct.
And Nagata has a what? Soft tissue? Some kind of soft tissue?
I think Nagata, is he also concussion? Let me see here. I forget why Nagata didn't practice.
So interestingly, now we talked about this a little earlier, the position rankings that ESPN did on the Eagles, which I thought was a little low, except at quarterback, I thought they got it right. They're ranked 11th in their quarterback position group rankings. Now, I don't know. I guess that would include the backup that they put in there. Kansas City is first. Buffalo second, Baltimore third. So you got Mahomes, you got Allen, and you got Lamar Jackson.
You know who Mahomes'
and then you got
backup
Burrows. Burrow is fourth. The New York Jets with Aaron Rodgers is fifth. Dak is sixth.
Now they got this right.
Dallas is who's their backup
in Dallas?
Yeah, Who's Dallas's backup?
Trey
quarterback?
Lance, man. Trey Lance.
Oh, well.
He may be the quarterback of the future for
Los
the Cowboys.
Angeles Rams, 7. Houston Texans with CJ. See, they got CJ ahead of Hurts.
Yeah.
They got Purdy ahead of Hurts at 9. The Chargers, oh, my God, they got Herbert ahead of Hurts. You're not happy with that, Bill.
I'm not. I think that the Eagles quarterback room should be ranked a lot higher than this. Justin Herbert, it's all based off of projection with this guy. We haven't seen him do anything at the NFL level, but you just keep hearing about how good he is. Even Peyton Manning put him in his top 5, Ray. You sent that list over before the show. Has Herbert in his top 5. What's the guy done? Now, in Herbert's defense, Brandon Staley was a terrible head coach. I give him that. But you got to be able to perform as a quarterback, and he just hasn't done it yet. I haven't seen it at the NFL level.
All right, in the running back rankings, they got the Eagles 6, which is fair with Saquon and Kenny Gainwell, and they got a couple other guys that look good in camp. And they have the shakiest backfield, the Dallas Cowboys. Does Dallas win 10 games this year?
Dallas?
Yeah. Do they win 10?
At most. I have them more around 9 and 8.
All right, so the Eagles win the division,
I would say
problem.
no.
You got Donovan chiming in. Wide receiver, the Eagles are ranked 7.
Now, number 1 is Houston.
Yeah.
They have a wide receiver that I want to see how we go get. Because they do have an abundance of riches there.
Yeah, who's the wide receiver? They got Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs.
Give me Robert Woods.
Robert Woods?
Robert Woods would be a perfect wide receiver 3 on this team.
It's a strong unit that the Texans have, and the Eagles are ranked 7th. And now we move on to the tight end, where they got hosed by ESPN's ranking. 19 on the tight end, which means Dallas Goedert isn't as highly thought of nationally as we thought that he was. And that maybe the backups as well are figuring that. Offensive line, solid 5th. Ranking in the league position group. And when you go to defense, the interior defensive line, what do you think that they ranked the interior defensive line of the Eagles with a couple Georgia studs in there? What do you think they ranked them?
Why? I have it in front of me. So
22nd. 22nd.
That's where this is wrong.
No respect at all
for
those guys.
And then they have the edge rushers ranked 16th.
16th. They have the edge rushers ahead of the tackles.
That's why this list is flawed. This list is flawed. Your defensive tackles on this team, not only the 2 Georgia Bulldogs in Carter and Davis, Milton Williams, man, don't underestimate Milton Williams. He's going to have a great season.
Linebacker 30th.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not
checks
good.
out.
And cornerback is 11th. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, they're giving them a lot of credit.
They're
at the
giving
corner.
a lot of credit at corner.
Safety 22, despite the return of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I guess they don't like Blankenship.
I guess not.
22 for the safeties ranking. Overall, a 10 rank. How come they didn't rank the kickers? Kickers aren't people, too?
See, here's where I have issues, though. They have it Eagles number 10 overall. The Dallas Cowboys number 6. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys should be that high up in the overall roster. Their offensive line got weaker. Their running backs got weaker. They lost a couple of edge rushers on that team. I don't know. I'm not seeing how the Cowboys are ranked number 6.
Well, anyway, today was a good day for a discussion point. We have good discussion points. The fans usually turn out, and they turned out today on Twitter. They turned out on the YouTube comments and on the phone calls today. And this totally dilutes my argument that Rob Thompson was justified in what he did not do in that game yesterday. The owner. Every game matters to me, John Middleton said. Every single one, every at-bat matters to me. There's a mentality in baseball that is different from other sports. It's a long season. You can't get upset about what happened on a Tuesday night in July. Yeah, well, sometimes Tuesday nights in July determine season outcomes.
Good job, John
or
Middleton.
Sunday days in August. Playoff outcomes, every game matters to me a lot, and I react that way. Well, then he couldn't have been happy with Bryce Harper not pinch hitting. I wonder if he got on the hotline.
Now, what's interesting to me, this article from Todd Zalecki, was this written before, or is this Matt Gelb?
That's the Athletic, Matt Gill.
It's
But
Gill.
all of them were there for this.
Definitely before.
This was before
Yeah, it was definitely before.
the game
before.
or after?
I imagine they all talked to him before.
way before.
Okay.
Because I think it would be written in the article, this came after
Right.
they didn't see Bryce Harper. I think
Yeah.
they give you the context of that.
Yeah, because if this was after the game, that would be a little bit of an issue.
So we'll leave it at that. Most of the people that listened to this show today thought it was a heinous crime that they didn't pinch hit for Bryce Harper there for Cal Peterson in the in the ninth inning yesterday. But I feel it's just okay because I trust my manager.
But at least Cal Peterson's psyche wasn't damaged, Mike.
See, you completely misjudged me on that. When you're in that Philly clubhouse and you wear Phillies across your uniform, you're part of the team. Stay tuned for, I guess Ricky is in here.
Ricky and Tom Alford today.
Ricky and Tom Alford. Stay tuned for those guys. Have a great rest of the day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.